Yun.
Oh,
What is up, everybody? Welcome to our show, Timeless Gamer, where the games and gamers grow older while the gaming experiences remain timeless. Timeless Gamer is a
timeless.
weekend podcast show that discusses the news and issues of the gaming industry, past, present, and future. Previously known as the podcast version of Kaka Computer Mo Yan, you can catch our previous episodes in audio format by web searching for Wakalas Radio. Be sure to visit our website, timelessgamer.wakalasproductions.com. You can also catch Wakalas Radio in Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Google Cast, Overcast, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, TuneIn, Castbox, and Breaker. We got a wonderful show for this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Joe.
All right. Thank you for that, Papa M. And ladies and gentlemen, to all of you listening and watching us live, as you can see, there's a different mix of panel at the moment. Sir RV cannot be here at the moment because of work issues. Sir Joel is currently driving with his family on the way to Florida. So,
Mm-hmm.
Sir Joel, if you're
Yes.
listening to us right now, have a safe trip, safe trip. All right, we'll be expecting you down there at the chat. And Sir Mamuchu is doing has a prior engagement. Aside from this, so he's not going to join us for today. And a little bit of unfortunate news. Apparently, Sir Siebert has requested to
Leave of
be
absence.
indefinitely. He's taking a leave of absence from Timeless Gamer because of work-related issues, conflicting schedule. If he's going to join us, co-hosting us every weekend. So for the time being, Siebert will not be joining us for future episodes, unless of course unless he's available. So no, don't you fret. You still got a lot of co-hosts here in Timeless Fair. We got you covered. Speaking of which, representing the retro Pinoy gamers here. So we got Sir Raymond, Retro Freak, and of course J Prime of Prime Retro. All right,
Hello.
you can speak, guys.
What's
Oo
up?
nga.
Hello. Good
Sorry.
evening.
You can say hello.
Magandang
And of
gabi.
course, Papa M is here.
Yep. I'm also
Papa
from
M.
Prime Time
And
Retro.
then
No,
representing your retro gamer and representing your retro gamers collectors of the Philippines,
uh,
PS1, PS2, PS3 collectors. Sir Carlo Rave Mala, long
uh-huh.
hair, oh, Yahoo. And then of course me, your moderator, Joe.
Long hair,
And
no?
um, we are still continuing our the top 10 series. So as the last week we were able to discuss our top 10 fighting games, which was led by Sir Mamuchu, and Sir Jano was there, Sir Raymond was there, and Sir Asopanting were there representing um, the Pinotro gamers, and such a very enticing, very engaging conversation. Me and Sir Joel were there. We barely contributed to the discussion, but all thanks to Mamuchu, Sir Raymond, Sir Jano, and Sir Asapanting, they were able to carry that topic discussion quite well. It was very great. And for this week, we are going to continue with the fisticups, our top 10 beat 'em up games. So to those you guys who are not aware, beat 'em up games are pretty much, side scrolling. Enemies are approaching, punch, you kick, and then move on until there's a stage boss, beat the boss, and then next level, same, rinse, and repeat. So those are pretty much your beat 'em up games. Whether you use your fisticuffs, whether you use your fist, your legs, your kicks, swords, guns, or whatever, pretty much beat 'em up games. As long as you're hitting the enemies melee style. All right, it's different from your beat 'em up games. So games like Contra or Metal Slug or Bucky O'Hare or Metroid or anything that revolves guns and bullets. That's another topic discussion for another week. All right. So all we are going to talk about here is just melee beat 'em up games, straight up. All right. Um, for those of you guys who are having some difficulty understanding, because J Prime is here. All right. That's why we were trying to force ourselves to speak English. Okay.
Sports.
Thank you.
All right.
Talagang
We
sports.
will try because we don't because Sir J Prime, we don't want him to feel left out. So we'll try our
Okay,
best to make sure
I appreciate
that he can
it.
pretty much go and understand the conversation. Okay.
Still learning.
So as per tradition, as per tradition, we are going to start our first with our little segment called "Ano computer mo ngayon, visit ka," which is a show and tell, where we tend to brag our latest acquisitions and just tell everybody what are the games that we are playing for the past few days. So let's start, Sir Prime Time Retro, Sir J. Sir J, what's your
Okay.
latest?
player.
All right. My show and tell. I wouldn't say these are latest pickups, but I figured I'd bring these out because of today's topic. Um, I have a copy of Streets of Rage 3. I also have the first two, but I cannot find them.
Whoa!
Yeah, highly desirable Streets of Rage 3. And then also, I also have the Japanese version, but actually, if
Bare
as you
Knuckle.
can see, yeah, Bare Knuckle 3. This one is actually of sentimental value because this was given to me by my cousin when I went to the Philippines in 1998. And those unfamiliar with Streets of Rage 3 and Bare Knuckle 3, the Bare Knuckle 3, the Japanese version, is much different from the US version, and it's apparently it's easier, and the American one is much more difficult. And I value this one because it's
You can see Blaze's bra. Is it
you can
censored?
see her. No.
Can you see bra
Actually,
and panties on that game? Answer.
yeah, there's minimal differences. Like there's even like a stereotypical like gay fighter in this game that was not available in the American version. But I highly value this because my cousin gave it to me, and I used to play this a lot. So yeah. And as far as like latest actual pickup, Streets of Rage 4 DLC, the newest characters that had recently dropped this past weekend. That's the only real pickup I had. So that's it.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir J. Sir J, what are you currently playing at the moment?
I'm currently playing Streets of Rage 4. Been playing that a lot. There's a fan game called Streets of Rage Remake as well. Yeah, that's really it. I usually play my usual Sonic games. Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I still have to finish a Richter Belmont playthrough, and yeah, a bunch of other games as well.
All right. Thanks for that, Sir J.
You're
Next
welcome.
up, Mon. What's your latest?
Acquisition. Ayan. Dahil mahilig ako magano. Nakakuha ko na ito.
Wow.
Ukulele.
What is that?
It's a game for
Ukulele.
PS4. Yeah. Tara, wait lang.
Yooka-Laylee.
Bubuksan ko na lang din.
Spontaneous unboxing, guys. Live unboxing.
Bunny ears.
Actually, nakuha ko siya ng cheap price sa Toy Kingdom.
Toy
Ang
Kingdom sale?
regular pack, like
How much?
300 pesos.
Ha?
300?
300. Yeah.
300.
Ano ba yan? Pang display?
teka.
Figure?
Figure.
Figure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
May
mura yun sa
figures pa.
300. Oh,
figures
that's Stitch. That is Stitch. Ah, sorry.
Stitch.
Mukha ni Stitch.
Tapos may keychain na kasama.
Si Stitch saka si Gecko.
Yan. And then saka yung world map na laglag eh. Yan.
World map.
Yan. Yung world map, parang map niya sa ano?
Sa
And
game.
pins. Saka yung pins. Yan.
Okay.
Ay, hindi nakita. Yan. At the same time, bumili kami ng digital game sa Nintendo Switch. Kasi mura. Actually, yung isa libre. It's called Sky. Parang Zelda. Zelda Breath of the Wild thing. And, saan yung Switch? Pakita ko lang. Yan, yung Sky. Hindi kasi kita is Sky Children of the Light and AR. Yan, mga medyo discounted indie games sa Switch. yun lang. And then, ang nilalaro ko ngayon sa stream ko is nag-start na ako mag Breath of Fire 3. Yan.
Wow. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Breath of Fire 3.
Breath of Fire 3. At the same time, still God of War. Nasa God of War 2 na ako. So, hati-hati. Yan. That's it.
I barely remember Breath of Fire 3.
Yun yung dragon ka sa simula.
Yeah.
Baby dragon.
Oh yeah, no, well, yeah, I remember that. But after that, nothing. I mean, so you're gonna start as a dragon, and then kid version, and then adult version time skip. Good stuff. Thank you for that, Sir Raymond. Let's move on to Sir Carlo before he drops again.
Yo, what's up guys?
Sir Carlo.
Rinig ba ako? Rinig?
Malinaw.
Rinig ba? Rinig?
Yes.
Okay. So, wala kasi akong headset. Ngayon. Anong kino-computer ko? Call of Duty World at War sa Xbox 360.
World at War.
Call of Duty.
Ito yung umpisa ng Black Ops series. Yan, nilalaro ko ngayon siya. One day ko lang ata nalalaro pero bala kong tapusin ngayong linggong ito. Sa mga bagong holes ko naman, umpisahan ko dun sa pinaka-favorite ko na nakuha ngayong nakarang linggo. DSi XL, galing kay Comrade Agustin.
IXL. So aside from DSi, there's a DSi XL?
Yes.
Yeah,
Meron pa XL.
What's the difference?
bigger screen.
What's the difference between your
Malaki na ko dito sa
DSi XL and your...
25.
So what's the difference between the DSi XL
Ginamit ko rin pala siya para ano. Na ako, Twilight Launcher. Kaya wala ko napapansin. Masyado mataas ang brake nito.
Right,
Anyway.
right.
Tuwan-tuwa ako rito
Namot
sa
mo
nakuha
na.
ko ito. Dagdag
How
connection kahit hindi malalaro.
How much?
How much?
Kahit hindi mo na
Secret na lang.
Secret?
Sekreto na lang.
Between you and Agustin, alright?
Ito naman, yung games ko, konti lang. Kasi yung iba, hindi ko pa nalilinis eh. Quake 4, Xbox 360.
Quake
Ito
4.
talaga yung bala ko sa bundle na na nakuha ko. Kasi ano to, ito yung launch version, may kasama siyang Quake 2 game.
Quake.
Yeah,
First
may kasama siyang
person.
Quake 2.
Alright.
Then Bioshock 2, Xbox 360.
Bioshock 2.
At dahil yung ating topic ngayon ay beat 'em ups, meron tayo isang beat 'em up. Golden Axe.
Oh, fuck.
Golden Axe Beast Rider. Yeah.
Xbox.
Hidden gem.
Really?
Xbox 360, yes.
Hmm.
There's a
This one is
360 pala
3D.
din, ha?
Full 3D.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And Beatles.
Beatles Rock Band.
Rock band.
All right.
At ito pala. Nakakuha ko isang mystery game. N64, wala siyang label.
Walang label.
There's no label.
Mystery game.
Wala siyang label. Nilinis ko siya kagabi kasi medyo madumi. Pinalitan ko yung yung ibang parts niya sa loob. Pero yung pinaka-game niya,
Buti
hindi pa
pumapatol ka
testing.
sa ganyan. Mahirap yan eh. Problema ng iba yan pag walang label.
Game.
Totoo.
Have you tried it yet?
20
Have you
games
tried
lang
it?
yung N64 na black ang case. So, may 5% chance na ito yung Batman na beat 'em up.
Oh.
Nakaset up ngayon yung N64 ko. Tetestingin natin ngayon kung ano laman ito.
Alright.
Game.
Live,
Alright.
guys, live testing, ha?
Live. Kung may unboxing, meron
Only
tayong
here.
live
Gamer.
testing.
Live testing.
Testing.
Paano pag bukas
Live
pa gumana
testing.
yan?
Oh,
Yung N64, mahirap gumana. Sige.
Hipan
Mga
mo
5 tries
muna,
lang.
Sir Carlo.
Ano bang unang gagawin dapat bago testingin?
Hipan.
Ipan!
Hipan.
Congratulations sa Pins. Good luck.
Cross fingers.
All right. This is the first time, ladies
Isa
and
pa.
gentlemen, in Miss Gamer history that we're going to do
Isa
a
pa. Ilang
live
tries kaya?
game testing. I think we should probably do this. No?
Mukhang hindi ata gagana.
Nothing.
Oh my
Tingnan muna natin
goodness.
yung gumagana.
Gawa na yung
Nothing.
Paper Mario.
Gumana
Gawa
yung
na yung
Paper
Paper Mario.
Makulang sa ihip.
Bako lang sa ihip. Laksa mo pa. Buhusan mo ng kape.
Go.
Wala.
Wala.
Kulang yung
Nothing.
Kulang sa hangin.
Kulang sa hangin.
Last
I-blow
one.
mo pa. Kulang yung trabaho.
One last.
Tinakpan mo.
Yun yung pa
Ah,
sasabihin ko eh.
Ganun pala dapat.
Oo.
Itatakpan ko pala dapat. Naku po.
Wala talaga.
Nalinis mo na ba yan, Brad?
Ayaw.
Unfortunately,
Nalinis mo na ba yan?
Nilinis ko na. Contact cleaner.
Okay, guys.
Niliha ko.
Well,
Alcohol.
So, aabot pa tayo bukas pala talaga.
Wala. Ganyan talaga.
Sabi mo kasi meron kang inayos na piyesa dyan sa loob. Baka may mali kang hinga.
Pero nalinis mo na yung loob?
Hindi naman. Ano
Yan,
lang.
I see eh. Ay,
Tinatang ko
hindi.
lang.
Ay, no. Kala ko.
Paper
Hindi,
Mario.
Hindi, ba to?
N64 pala. Nalinis mo na IC?
Baka
Nilinis mo na yung
bukas
board?
ko. Pero ano lang talaga yung contact lang.
Bukas. Okay, kala ko papakita mo rin sa amin ngayon kung
Okay lang.
paano linisin.
Teka lang, ha?
Next time siguro.
Your N64 US or Japanese version?
Dual.
US na pinalitan
Dual.
na tinanggal ko lang yung connecting tab sa loob. Oo. Pwedeng Japan, pwedeng US.
Okay. So,
Tatanggalin nyo na yung dalawang
Okay.
ngipin sa
So,
ilalim.
Tama.
so it should
Ayan
play. It should play whether
Sayang.
it's US or Japanese. Okay, that's fine.
Hmm.
Well, thank you for that, Sir Carlos. Thank you for trying. Maybe you'll get. Maybe you'll be. You'll have a better luck next time. I'll go next because I only have
Sige
one
ako.
game here.
Sige.
Okay, I only have one game. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm currently moving house. So, all of my games are currently still inside boxes. I haven't really unpacked it. And the only game that I probably show you is this one, Final Fantasy IV, the complete edition.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy IV and the after years here. So, according to the JRPG FB community, if you're going to play Final Fantasy IV, this is the best version yet. So, and I checked eBay, and as of now, eBay purchase would cost you 100. In Australia, it would cost you at least 150 Australian dollars for this.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, I was able to. I saw this ad. I saw this seller yesterday
Nakascam ka na naman.
who was selling this one for $80. And
Oy,
I'm like,
almost half.
okay, right? Just so half, right?
Mhm.
So he's selling So he was selling a lot of JRPGs, but most of the stuff I already have, except for this one. So I took. He was selling. He was also selling Dragon Quest. Oh, I'm sorry, Dragon Warrior 7, but somebody already took it. So this one is still available. So I took it for $80, and yep. So he still got your manual, colored, of course. This is a PAL release, and yep, that's it really. Final Fantasy 4, the complete edition. The complete collection. So it still has the epilogue series called the After Years. So to be honest, I haven't really played Final Fantasy 4. Final Fantasy 1 to 6, I haven't really played. And this is me being an RPG player. Because I haven't really played all of Final Fantasy. And luckily, RV is not here. Anyways, all for me, guys. I still haven't done playing. Still haven't finished Evolution 2. But hopefully, after all of this done, after all the moving is done, I'll be able to stream it again. That's it for now. That's it for now. Papa M, take it away.
Okay, thank
Top
you,
M.
Jo. Ayan, okay. So ngayon ako, ito actually nakuha ko to kay Carlo last week. So wala ako last week, so ngayon ko to bubuksan. Buksan natin. Tingnan natin kung anong epekto yung padala ni Carlo ngayon. So, ito yung padala ni Carlo. So, bubuksan ko na siya dito live, guys. Dito lang meron yan. Live unboxing
Unboxing.
ng mga bagong haul pero luma. Luma pero bago.
Bago pero luma.
Oo. Ito yung dagdag collection na hindi mo lalaruin. Hindi mo alam kung kailan mo lalaruin.
At lalaruin mo ba? Yun.
At so, ang tanong, lalaruin mo ba? Depende pa, no? Depende pa kung lalaruin natin to. So, ito lang. Saglit lang naman to. Tinadala niya sa akin to via COP. So, mura yun, guys. 95 minimum yun sa LBC. So, kung namamahal lang kayo sa mga papadala nyo, try nyo LBC. Ano yun? Branch pick up. Kukunin nung pinadala nyo dun sa branch malapit sa inyo. Magbabayad lang siya ng 95 minimum or depende kung tataas yun, mga 116, ganun lang. So, kaya nakabalot po. Mukhang mahuhuli tayo ng pulisa dito. Ano ba itong pinadala mo? Binadala sa akin ni Carlo to kasi nangangamba siya na baka pumutok yung... Kasi last week ba yun, nag-alboroto yung taal eh. So galing
July ba,
tong
no?
Batangas. So alam niyo na kung taga saan si Carlo.
Sabi ko sa kanya,
Gusto niyo sabihin ko yung yung address para alam
sabi
niyo
ko, hindi ko i-refund
yung
dyan pag nakaputok mo.
Oh, ang sabi niya, itatago niya na lang daw sa kotse pag hindi niya pinadala. Ikaw ako, ipadala mo na. Baka madisgrasya. Actually, mas concerned ako dun sa item kaysa kay Carlo. Daming balot, Brad, Parang ayaw ipakita. Pero matutuwa kayo sa laman nito.
Para sigurado.
Matutuwa kayo sa laman nito. Yan. Ang una. Yan.
Oh.
Mega Man X6. Okay, sakto to. Hindi, pero X5 pala yung susunod ko lalaroin sa stream, guys. Pero sa susunod, tapos after nun, yan, mag-X6 tayo. Kompleto daw. Kompleto ba to? Kompleto. Andito yung manual, yung front cover. Siya yung manual. This is Japanese, pero playable to, guys. Kasi Rockman, this is Rockman. This is Mega Man in the US. So, this is playable. Ayan, ang ganda pa. Ganda, Brad, Pati yung
Siyempre
at
naman.
secret kung magkano ko ito nakuha. At ito, guys, limited edition. Tada!
Iniya siya.
Inuyasya. Guys, mukhang N64 yung yung box pero laro to sa PS1. This is
Yung
a
box.
fighting game. Inuyasha fighting game sa PS1. Tapos may artbook to, 'di ba? May ano to, 'di ba? Sa loob.
Kaya may artbook yan.
May
At
artbook to
saka,
sa loob eh.
isang pirasong playing card yata.
Isang pirasong playing card. Paano mo lalaruin yun? Mag-isa lang.
Papa M, sabi ni Tres,
Hindi ako sure kung isa
grabe
o
yung
tatlo.
MF6, oh. Mega
Ano?
Man X6, sabi ni
Ano?
Tres. Grabe raw.
I-speedrun ko na ba?
Speedrun mo na kaya?
I-speedrun na ba natin? Ayan. Kaya buksan ko na lang yung laman. Ay, kinakabahan ako buksan eh. Ingatan ko lang.
Ayan, ganda ng box.
Yes. Ayan! Inuyasya.
Bago yan.
Yeah,
Nice yan. ah.
Japanese. Ayan ako. Japanese.
Kano kaya
Yeah,
score kay Sir Carlo niya?
Fighting game yan. Playable na playable.
Oh, fighting
Only
game to
fighting
guys.
game.
Fighting game.
Oh.
Teka lang. How can I open this? Ayun, may libro nga oh. May ano to, manga.
Manga.
Yep.
Oh,
Manga.
kompleto.
Yan, oh.
Pwede mo sausaw sa ano yan.
Manga.
Alamang.
Ito lang. Hoy! Amoy ano? Amoy Playboy magazine ah. Ayun. Okay. Ayan guys. Galing yung dalawang yan. Yung nakuha ko galing kay Carlo. Limited edition na kalimutan ko title nitong buong ano na to eh. Inuyasha. Basta Inuyasha fighting game sa Mega Rockman X6 sa PS1. Ayan guys. Tapos ang nilalaro na the usual pa rin. Ayun, Harvest Moon, Monster Rancher, yung Valkyrie, nasa Asgard na ako, so malapit na siya matapos. So, antayin nyo na lang, maglalaro tayo ng bagong RPG sa stream dito sa kaka-computer mo yan, so watch out. Saka last night, naglaro kami ni Jay ng Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so noob. Kaya si Jay pa rin na lang yung pinag-Sonic ko. Ayun, saka later, late night, mag-stream ako guys ng Poy Poy 2. Request ni Sir Lexter. Ayun. That's it.
Boy. All right.
Alright.
Thank you for that, Papa M. So there you have it, guys. That is all for our show and tell segment for this evening. Mako naman tayo sa gaming news. So last week, Nintendo just dropped the news that they're going to release the Nintendo Switch OLED, and we had and we shared our first impressions regarding that particular issue. And coincidentally, after Nintendo announced they're going to release the Nintendo Switch OLED, another gaming company called Valve, might know them as the maker of Half-Life and Portal, no, and the platform Steam. So they also announced a handheld device. People say it's the Switch killer. Basically, it's the mobile gaming PC that everybody allegedly was clamoring for, the Valve Steam Deck. So we will just provide our initial impressions about this. So guys, what do you know about the Steam Deck? Let's go with Sir Ray. Sir Ray.
Nasaan ba? Nasaan si Sir Ray? Ako ba?
Sir Raymond, what can you tell us about the Steam Deck?
Ako ba? Kala ko si Sir
Yes.
Ray. Well, it's the... Ako ba? Yan,
Yes.
parang Switch killer, kumbaga. And parang ang Valve ng... That's how you introduce a Switch Pro. Kumbaga, with that design. Right. At the same time, sobrang actually bibili kami nito.
Bakit?
Yan,
So rather
bibili
than
kami ni
so
Mrs.
rather than the OLED, bigyan
Um,
ng budget.
Bakit?
ay, ayan. Basically, kasi may Switch naman kami, V2. So, ito na lang, titirahin namin ni Mrs. Ito bibili namin. So, can't wait for this to finally go to the market na. Yan.
Mhm.
Ganda ng design eh. Actually, sabi ni Mrs. Ano raw?
Pangit.
Sabi ni Mrs. Pangit.
Mabigat.
For girls. For boys naman, maganda yan. Di ba? Sabi niya, ang bigat daw, parang ang bigat. Sabi
Mabigat.
niya.
Mas mabigat talaga sa
Ayan. Switch user kasi si Mrs. So, sabi niya, bigat. Sabi ko, maganda kaya to for boys. Manly.
Yung buttons
Diba?
parang wala sa right place.
Mga buttons daw. Syempre, babae ka. Usually, gumagamit ng mga ganyan is lalaki.
Hindi magaling talaga sa buttons ang lalaki.
Ang lalaki.
Oo.
You're
Anyway,
good at pushing
that's it.
buttons daw.
Mm.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Raymond. Sir Jay.
Honestly,
we asked
yeah.
you about this earlier.
Right. Okay.
What's
So
your impressions about the this one?
honestly, I wasn't too impressed. Like when it first dropped, I was like, okay, and then, but I mean, kasi I'd recently acquired this gaming PC like earlier this year, so for me, it's not really a necessity because you know I already bought this PC. I already have Steam on my PC, and you know, for me, I personally I prefer the Switch, and this definitely like you know put the hammer on like you know the OLED that had just recently been announced. So, and for me myself, like I don't really do like mobile gaming you know like that anymore. But I mean, it does look very impressive from all the specs. The only thing that concerns me is like if you have to use a keyboard, I'm assuming like it's a touchscreen keyboard that pops up if you have to use it. Diba?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly though, but yeah, I'm not really I don't plan on purchasing it, but you know, I'm just waiting to see what else it could have to offer when it does drop.
All right. Papa M. Stick. Yay or nay?
Deck. Ako, nay din ako dito actually. Kasi since meron naman akong Switch, saka sa dami ng console ko, ewan ko malalaro ko pa to. Saka ako, hindi talaga ako fan ng mga new consoles. So, hindi kagad ako bumibili guys. Ako yung tao na hindi kagad bumibili. Pero sa ano na to, dahil Valve, di ba? Valve ang gumawa ng Half-Life nga. Yung Valve. Tapos, pagkakaano ko, so parang ano to, PC na handheld. Parang ganun. Mga games mo dito. Mga PC games. Mga ports sa mga games mula sa Steam, parang ganyan, sa Epic Games, Microsoft. So, more on mga Valve games, no? Yung mga lalaroin mo dito. Kung siguro, fan ka ng, kung
Right.
ano ka, PC Master Race, or fan ka ng mga PC games na gusto mong handheld, yung maging pag wala ka sa bahay, kasi nga yung PC mo, desktop eh. I think, mas suit to sa mga ganong people, sa mga ganong tao. No? Saka pansin ko, mukhang mas matibay yung yung design niya, kaysa sa Nintendo Switch. Yes, saka, ayun, sabi niya, mukhang panlalaki, mas masculine to kumpara sa. Kaso hindi yata natatanggal yung kabilaan, so, it's like a Nintendo Switch Lite. Yung kabilaang controller, hindi siya natatanggal.
Mm-hmm.
Saka hindi mo siya pwede i-dock. Wala siyang dock. So, pero pwede mo ba siya
you can connect it to your monitor.
Paano mo siya lalaro?
You don't need the dock. I mean, just
So,
connect your HDMI cable to your
Wi-Fi?
monitor. That's it.
Wireless?
Wi-Fi. You can do
Wireless mo siya
Wi-Fi
i-connect?
and you need your HDMI cable to connect to your monitor. So
Mm,
that's
so
it. So basically,
oh,
it can be docked as well. You don't need a dock, so just put your
no,
HDMI
there's a duck
cable,
too.
put it
Ay,
in the
hindi yun
monitor.
daw. There's a duck too.
Mm. The latest release, there's no dock, but
Oh, official duck
according to
will
the
sold
release,
separately.
mm, sold separately, but you can still use your HDMI cable.
Oo nga. So, kung idadak mo kasi siya ng ganun, kung sa iiwan mo siya, hindi mo siya magagamit as controller. So, kailangan
Mm.
mo na separate controller pa rin.
Yeah.
Mm.
Actually, ang
Ayun lang.
base naman sa
Mm.
base naman din sa
Pero ang weird talaga
parang
laruin kung
nila,
naka-cable
parang
siya. Ano? Base sa...
wait. Sige. Base kasi sa review nila, you can still
Mhm.
use that as a PC rin. Kumbaga, magkoconnect lang kayo
Mhm.
USB, Type-C, and then maglalabas
Mhm.
sila ng dock for that. So,
Mhm.
parang portable nga talaga siya PC, ganun. So, yung accessories niya sold separately.
So, tas bibili ka nga ng kung gusto mo wireless talaga yung controls mo. Bibili ka ng extra controller.
Yeah.
Kasi hindi natatanggal yung controller nito, naka-build sa sa tablet. Unlike sa Nintendo Switch Pro B2 and B1. 'Di ba? So, ayun, nasa sa inyo guys. Pero ako, ayun, name muna ako. Pero si Raymond, tingnan natin pag nabili niya. I-demo niya yan dito.
Pag na namin, pag-demo ko.
'Di ba? Kuya Joe?
Boxing yan.
Yeah. Si Sergio. Ikaw,
Yes.
Sergio. What do you
Alright.
think?
So for the last for the last 3 or 4 decades, there's only like 2-3 gaming consoles battling it out.
Mhm.
No, so during the 90s you got Sega, you got Sega, Nintendo, then you got Sony, and then on the late 2000s you got Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. But um, each company is trying to do to up one another with the handheld, and Nintendo has been pretty much the so-called kings of the handheld ever since the Game Boy was released. No?
Mhm.
And then on the background, you got the PC gaming, which is the master race, and for the PC gamers, they're hoping that there will be a time that there's something will come up, like basically a handheld gaming PC. And there
Handheld
are other
tyranny.
commercial items already been out in the market, right? Uh, there are other items or there are other devices that had been introduced in the market. Not so much a commercial success, no. And the best mobile game that you can probably get is what, your laptop. It's not really a handheld. You can carry it, sure, but no, you can carry it on the go, not really a handheld, no. And then something like this would come along, itong Valve Steam Deck, and for me, I never I know Steam, okay, but I never really gotten into Steam games. If there are certain games that's going to be released, it's very multi-platform. So if you're a PC gamer, most likely there's a Steam port of that said game. There are a few exclusives, yes, but as an RPG player, there are certain RPG titles that are only available on Steam, not on the consoles, unless of course you're going to emulate them, right? But having a few titles here and there um, are not enough for me to play on Steam all the time. I mean, I barely have time to do my console in handheld, so why would I even go with Steam, right? Anyways, about Steam Deck, so let's check the specs, no? You're pretty much screen resolution pretty much the same as your regular Switch. You're still gonna clock out about what 720, 800 pixelations, not even 4K. So it's basically what you're getting is like Switch quality, but people argue that if you're going to go a little bit higher, then the price will also go higher. So as far as gaming handheld quality is concerned, they've already the developers of this Steam Deck already made the calculations not to go overboard with it. Otherwise, you'll be expecting a higher price for this one. 7-inch screen LCD compared to the OLED released by Nintendo. So if that doesn't really bother you, that's fine. No, more or less 8 hours of gameplay, depending on what kind of games that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more buttons. There are some concerns about your D-pad and your button layout a little bit too close to the analog sticks. But IGN mentioned that if you're playing it uh, for a short while, those button layouts will not be bothered. You got these fingers right here, your ring finger and your pinky. There are four buttons at the back: R3, R4, L3, F4. Now you can pretty much customize those buttons. So these fingers you can still use while you're holding your Steam Deck. Um, you can also dock this on. You can use it as a mini PC. So just connect it to your monitor. Whether you use a dock or a HDMI USB cable, you are good to go. Well, according to the official statement from Valve, anyway. So Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, they're there. Your 3.5 stereo headphone headset jack. To charge this thing, you're gonna need a USB C cable. So faster file transfer and faster charging time. Apparently, there are three releases for this. So Raymond, if I'm correct, you got your base model. What's the memory size? You
Uh,
got your 64, 256,
64.
512.
Mhm. Wait.
What
Mhm.
what kind of memory are
You
they
got the
using here?
64.
SSD?
Yung 512
Hmm.
has the SSD. Tapos yung
Mm-hmm.
256 has the NVMe SSD. Yung 64 eMMC
Hmm.
lang. So,
EMC. All right.
no.
So what I heard about one of the concerns is the memory reading capacity. All of your AAA games on the Steam, no, they need faster loading time. So SSD is a must, right? And for those people who want to, Valve says you can still add more memory to your Steam Deck by
Mm-hmm.
adding what SD cards. But the problem there is for faster loading times, SSD. You go for SSD, not your SD cards, not your mini
Yep.
SD. There's only so much reading transfer for your regular SD card that is super inferior to your SSD. So if they pretty much said that you can pretty much upgrade your memory to another a higher or a bigger SSD card capacity, it's okay. But apparently they didn't really mention anything about that. All they said, you can just add a high speed SD card, and then that's it. But yun nga lang, let's just say you're gonna download a few some Steam decks, and then you're gonna put those on your SD card. Will there be any significant speed loading time difference between your internal SSD memory versus your expandable SD card, right? So that's just my main concern. Assuming that if I'm going to get the Steam Deck, so hopefully once Sir Raymond gets his Steam Deck on December, um, let's see, and let's hear what he says with a
Okay. Well,
first-hand experience with that. No,
mm.
right.
Unbox
So
natin dito.
that's all. That's all. Hmm. Bahala na po si Sir Raymond na mag-unbox review ng Steam Deck. All right. So that's it, guys. That's all for our game news. So that's a Steam Deck, no? A Switch killer, apparently. Ooh. Let's see what happens. All right. So let's proceed now, guys, to the main topic of the evening, which is our top 10 beat 'em up games of the 90s. All right. So um so we sent this questionnaire to the FB community, especially the beat 'em up genre specific Facebook communities about what are their top 10 beat 'em up games, no? Of 90s. I mean, there's so much arcade and console games that were released on the 90s, and then a lot more came out after the 90s. So we're only gonna focus more on the 90s side, no? And many thanks to all of those people who took the time and effort to answer our questionnaire. So you know who you are, guys. Especially those in our retro gaming FB group, gamers over 30, RGCP. All of you guys, thank you so much for answering those questionnaires. And there were a lot of games that were suggested, but we only took the top 10 most votes, no? And we're going to start with our number 10. We're going to start with our number 10 game, which is Dungeons and Dragons Shadow of Mistar. All right. So who knows about this game, guys? So Raymond, you know this game?
Siya yung, tawag lang. Part 2 siya, di ba? Tama ba? Oh yeah.
Right.
Part 2 siya ng Tower of Doom. Nung Dungeons and Dragons na series. Sa arcade. Yan.
Mm-hmm.
Ano ba? 4-player characters at the same time. May mga casting spell. Ano? Casting,
Yep.
saka ano pa ba? Ang natatandaan ko dito. Ikaw yung gagawa ng scenario mo rito eh. Sa adventure stages. Bawat scenario magagawa mo. Eh, yun lang natatandaan ko dito eh. Kasi alam ko, ang nalaro ko yung Tower of Doom eh. Pero as of now, dahil lumabas to sa ano natin, sa top 10 natin, trinay ko siyang laruin through RetroArch kanina. Basically, maganda naman yung ano, maganda yung storya na itong ano, Shadow of Mysteria. For me, Ayan.
Alright. PM.
Ako, honestly, hindi ko pa ito nalalaro eh. Pero nagulat ako dun sa graphics nito. Kasi ang inaasahan ko dito sa Dungeons and Dragons. When you say Dungeons and Dragons, di ba, nagsimula ito sa ano dati? Yung board game?
Yes, tabletop.
Di ba?
Yep.
Tabletop board game. Tapos meron din mga figures. So, iniisip ko, medyo yung design ng characters and creatures dito, yung game medyo mature, medyo more on fantasy. Pero nakita ko, dahil Capcom nga, actually nakikita ko guys dito yung Breath of Fire. Lalo na nakita niyo yung icon ng babae, ng character. Para siya sa Breath of Fire. So, ayun. Tapos, ayun nga, sabi ko nga, this is by Capcom. Actually, parang gusto ko tuloy siyang laruin nung nakita ko. Ayan, tapos pwede ka pang gumamit ng maraming item. Ayan,
Ayan.
kakaiba yung element niya as beat 'em up. Hindi lang basta suntok, sipa, talon, special. Pag pinagsabay mo yung suntok, punch or attack and jump, di ba? Special, fight the mobs and boss, papatay mo lang yun. Parang,
Not a regular type beat 'em up game.
Right.
actually, yun nga, dahil nakita ko yung gameplay nito saka yung graphics, parang gusto ko siya laruin. Actually guys, tawag dito, to start with, ito nga palang top 10 namin, based sa survey. So, more on popularity itong top 10 namin at hindi siya technically pagdating sa element mechanics ng games. Kung yun nga, crowd likings to ng mga taong sinurvey namin with regards to beat 'em up arcade games, guys. So baka kasi nagtataka, bakit yung top 10 nila Dungeons and Dragons? Yun lang, to be specific lang para hindi rin kayo malito. Ayun, I'm looking forward to play this game. Sana ma-stream ko to. And this is by Capcom and 1996. Medyo late na siya nilabas, no? As an arcade game para sa 90s era. Pero ayun guys, I think for me, ako gusto kong laruin. So, try nyo din. Ayan, Kuya Joe.
Alright. Sir Jay, what's your impressions about this game? Apparently, you haven't played this before.
No, I've never played it. This is actually my first time ever even hearing about this. It does look very impressive, and like Jeremiah in the chat said, my
RPG element.
Yes. That adds a different dimension to the beat 'em up, and I could see why it made the top 10. It does look impressive from what I'm seeing right now. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely give this a try.
All right. About this game, as far as I can remember, during my high school days, not really high school days, maybe fifth grade, sixth grade. The first time I saw this game was Isitan Recto, and there were a lot of players lining up just for this game. So you guys are right. So there are some RPG elements here. You can use a lot of items. So every time you beat an enemy, a few random items will pop up. You can use either healing items, magic potions, equipment. You can swap your equipment depending on what kind of loot that you're gonna get. You can also use special abilities here if you get that particular item here and there. You can there are, as far as I know, there are at least 6 playable characters. You can either be the thief. This is a thief, I think. A thief, ranger, bard, magic user, and warrior. I usually go for the magic user because the special magic here, guys, top notch, as in talagang malabarkly profile and Maynard ang dito.
Animation, yung animation.
Super magic.
No, yung magic. So may super
talaga.
magic pa maliban sa special.
As far as
interesting.
Each character here may special. For the magic users, they do special magic. Parang Valkyrie profile lang din. So once they do their special, parang lang. This is a 90s game, so hindi naman siya as in like parang Valkyrie profile like super magic talaga, but parang this is Capcom. Alam mo yung parang special ng Darkstalkers kapag they're doing their special moves. Parang ganun ng classic animation lang. And then like Sir Raymond mentioned, you can choose your path here. What's the Saturn game? Yung what's that game? Guardian Heroes, I think. Every time you finish a stage, you will be presented with 2 options option 1 or option 2. So depending on those options, you are pretty much planning which kind of adventure that you're gonna get. No, but eventually you're gonna go whatever choices that you'll make, you will end up fighting the big bad. You're gonna
The
end up
boss.
at the same boss, which is Sin, the big dragon. And oh my god, so hard. um I remember me and my classmates just will save up all of our lunch money just to buy tokens just to play this. So at least 4 or 6 of us will be playing this, and then we'll reach the final boss, and then up until there's only one left standing. And the first time we beat the boss, oh my god! Even though we were all dead except for one, his life was barely just on the red and was
Mhm.
able to hit that one last special move. Then boom, finished the game, and we were all there. So his victory was our victory. This is a very fulfilling game, guys. Especially if you're gonna do it multiplayer. If you're able to play this, if you can find this on the arcade, go on ahead and play it. If you're going to emulate it, it's much more rewarding if you're going to play it multiplayer. But you can do this solo if you can.
May,
uh,
ano?
it's a
Ilang
little
player
bit
to?
difficult if you're,
Max
if you're
player.
alone.
Ilan ang max player nito? Dalawa lang.
Depends on what game you're gonna get. There's a 2-player version, 4-player version, the 6-player version. There are 2, 4, and 6.
2, 4, 6. Alright.
Mm. All right. So that's it, guys. That's all, guys, for Shadow for Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mistara. All right, that's our top 10. Moving on, our 9. Our top 9, which is our top 9. For our top 9, we are going for Knights of the Round. Knights of the Round. All right. Sir Raymond, what can you tell us about Knights of the Round?
Ang maganda dito sa game na to, kunyari, yung specific character niya, like Lancelot, Arthur, Percival, every time na makaalis ka sa isang game, nag-upgrade yung armor mo or lumalakas ka, kumbaga. So, a typical beaten up, at the same time, may adjustment sa power-up. Habang tumatagal yung stages mo, lumalakas yung mga kalaban mo. So, nalaro ko to ay sa galeriya eh. Sa Glicos doon. Hindi masyado siya kasi parang kasabayan niya that time. Ano ang kasabayan niya ito? May kasabayan din tong beat 'em up eh.
Warriors of Fate?
Nalaro ko naman. I think Warriors of Fate.
Like, I think
ang Warriors.
Parang Warriors of Fate yung kasabay nito.
Basta may kasabayan, kaya hindi masyado siyang nakita o parang hindi masyadong nakilala as sa Pinoy na overshadow, kumbaga, yun. Pero maganda to kasi may evolution ng ng armor mo eh.
Nagbabago yung tsura ng character.
Habang tumatagal, pumupogi ka. Habang tumatagal, pumupogi ka.
Ganun ba? All right. Papa M, what can you tell about Knights of the Round?
Ito, Knights of the Round. Isa to sa isa sa pinaka-memorable na beat 'em up sa akin nung bata ako. Kasi meron nitong arcade cabinet sa pinsan ko. Sa piso-piso arcade dito sa Pilipinas. J Prime.
Yes.
We have one peso coin
Yes.
Arcade cabinet here. But mostly residential lang yung business. So makikita mo siya sa mga bahay-bahay lang, house. Ayun, isa to sa kinaadikan namin, so pinipilahan talaga namin to nung bata kami. Kaso, yun nga lang, hindi kami masyadong nakakalayo sa game na to dahil syempre, kulang ka sa pera. Sa pera that time, kung ano lang yung makupit mo, malaro mo or pag may natira sa baon mo, sa allowance. Sa allowance mo. yun lang yung mapapanlaro mo. Mahirap to that time, Mahirap to that time. Tapos, ayan, you can play 3 characters, guys. Si Arthur, Lancelot, and pangalan nito, Percival, yung may axe. Ayan.
Percival.
Sabi nga, tama si Sir Raymond na nag-evolve ang itsura, armor set ng bawat characters dito kapag nakakakuha sila ng points sa treasures. Ayan, you can ride a horse din. Pero sobrang hirap niya kapag naka-horse ka. At basta mahirap siya kontrolin kapag naka-horse siya. Hindi rin siya ganun ka-effective kapag naka-horse ka. At wala sang special katulad ng sa Warriors of Fate na kapag naka-horse ka, may special ka. Tapos, yun nga, kaya nagbabago yung armor nito kasi nagle-level. Yes, house lang, sabi ni Leira. Bahay, house lang. Kailangan ko English yun. Kasi nandito si J. Fry. ayun. Nagle-level up. May level up element to, guys. Level up mechanics to. Ito beat 'em up na may level up mechanics. Last time nilaro namin to, just recently this week. I think that's Wednesday. I played this with Mirl and Beljan of Pinoy Retro Gaming. At natapos namin siya. Actually, si Percival, spoiler alert, kapag mga level 12 na siya, makakalbo na siya. Tapos magkakaroon siya ng full armor at makabrief na lang si Percival dito compared kay King Arthur saka kay Lancelot na mag-upgrade lang talaga yung armor nila. Pero kasi mas mababa yung nagawa namin na level ni Bell. Si Bell kasi King Arthur, Lancelot ako. Si Mirl ay alam mo naman sobrang galing ni Mirl sa mga ganitong laro. At dapat i-kick na nga siya sa Pinoy Retro Gaming. Ayan. Ayan, yun. Masaya
magaling sa atin, di ba?
Tapos may inputs din to, depende. Pwede ka din dito mag-block. Kasi dun sa ibang beat 'em ups, hindi ka pwede mag-block. Ayun, the usual, attack, kick, tapos when you press the attack and jump at the same time, you will perform the special attack. Tapos flying kick. Ayan, ganyan. Ayun lang, masaya to, guys. Isa to sa memorable childhood games ko nung bata nga. Arcade, piso-piso, house, bahay-bahay. Ayun.
All right. Sir Jay,
Yes.
seeing the video game footage and based on what you're hearing, what's your first impression about the game?
I think I've seen one gameplay. I forget who streamed it. It was like a long time ago, but yeah, it looks impressive. I tried this game too. I'm not really into like the whole medieval aspect, but I'm always open to try like different beat 'em ups. It has a different element as well. This is not a typical beat 'em up. Like the closest thing I can think of in this genre is Golden Axe. It has similarities to Golden Axe.
Yeah, medyo malapit.
Yeah. And I like Golden Axe, so I'm willing to give this game a try as well.
You're gonna like this game.
By the way,
that's
gumawa
gonna
na ito
remind you.
Capcom, ha?
Yeah, Capcom
Gumawa na-
dito,
Oh,
guys.
yeah,
Guys,
Capcom.
Capcom dito,
this is
guys,
from
ha?
Capcom, yeah.
Right.
All right.
So kanina Capcom.
are the
Ngayon
masters
Capcom
of
din.
fighting games.
Capcom na.
Mm.
Yep.
So it
Beat 'em up.
So it kind of remind me of Golden Axe nga naman na. I have to be honest, guys, I haven't heard about the game. This is the first. I haven't heard about this game. This is the first time I'm seeing the footage, and so Capcom apparently made this, apparently so. There's only three playable characters, Knights of the Round. As far as I know, there are 10 or 12 Knights of the Round aside from Percival, Arthur,
Lancelot.
Lancelot.
and Lancelot. And
Guinevere pa.
I think they are the top three. No,
Mm.
there's no Guinevere, right?
Mm.
There's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, maraming iba. No. Lancelot, and there's a lot. Anyways, looks good. I mean, Golden Axe ish kind of game. There's meron ba mga boss characters ito as in? Oh yeah, of course there is one. Paano yung level up system dito?
By points.
Depending on the character.
Depende sa
may
points.
So depende. I can see.
Tapos may bonus points
level
kapag
4,
end of the
level 4,
match.
level 4.
End of the stage.
Right.
Yeah,
So,
look, tingnan nyo.
So the experience
Person-
points mo kuha siya after the battle or for every enemy na na matatalo nyo.
Kasama yung enemy, pero mas malaki yung points mo kapag nakakuha ng mga treasures from enemy. Yun yung pinaka-experience. Tapos every end of the stage, bibigyan ka rin ng bonus depende sa performance mo.
All right. Kasi I'm looking at the screen. So all of them are level 4. All of them are 80,000 for next level. And each time
for next level.
they beat an enemy, hindi naman they don't really increase. So how's the
hindi
level
siya
of system here?
mag-increase.
For every enemy
Hindi.
or for every stage? For every stage.
Hindi, lahat basta by points. So hindi nagpa-progress yung points na yan. Napansin din namin yan. Basta na hit nila yung cap na yan. Magbabago na yung yung kailangan mo. Actually yan next. Yan yung kailangan mo, 80,000 lot na points para mag next level ka.
Right.
So once mag-level ka, magbabago na yan. Mas lalaki yung goal mo to level up. That's only the cap.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, how can you tell if you're approaching that level cap?
Ano lang,
So,
hindi mo talaga siya mapapansin. Mapapansin
not
mo lang siya
counting
once
down.
mag-level ka. Oo, hindi mo siya mamomonitor actually.
Ayun
Kasi
lang.
hindi nga siya
Alright.
hindi siya
Okay.
nagbabago every time nakakakuha ka ng points. Mapapansin
Okay.
mo na lang once mag-level up ka.
So a little RPG element as far as gaining experience
Level up.
is concerned. All right.
Mhm.
So that's it, guys. This is our top 9 Knights of the Round. If you're able to, if you see an arcade, give it a try. You can play.
like Golden Axe,
You can
you
also
can play
emulate
this.
this. No,
Mhm.
if you like Golden
Go with
Axe,
Fight Kid, guys.
Give this game. Go. Retro Arch, no? On the main. All right. So moving on, our top 8. So our top 8. For all of you guys who are waiting for this game, it made our top 8 and had 9 total votes from the Facebook community that we asked about. Captain Commando.
Ooh.
Captain Commando.
Ooh.
You got Ninja Commando, Baby Commando, Mommy Commando,
Yep.
and Captain Commando. They're right there. All of them are right there. So,
Mhm.
Sir Raymond, what can you tell us about Captain Commando?
Well, gawa uli siya ng Capcom.
Of course.
Yeah,
Capcom again.
Capcom din siya. Kaya nakita niyo siya sa Marvel vs. Capcom fighting game. Kasi part siya ng Capcom list of players. Well, the typical beat 'em up na punch and kick and jump. One of my favorite games. Actually sa SNES ko siya nalaro. Sa SNES ko siya nalaro, hindi sa arcade. So, yun nga, the typical beat 'em up. Masaya laruin si Baby dito. Saka yun nga, si Baby yung pinaka main character ko rito, hindi si Captain Commando eh. Yun lang.
All right. Papa M, Captain Commando.
Captain Commando. This is also one of my childhood arcade piso cabinet.
Mm.
Yeah, house, bahay-bahay, guys. Pero lately na lang siya lumabas at nalaro ko din siya sa PS1. May port din ito sa PS1, guys. Captain Commando was first on arcade cabinet. Was released first on arcade cabinet, 1991 yon. Tapos, nag-port din sila sa SNES, 1995. Ayan, 1998 na port na siya sa PS1.
Mhm.
So, kung ano man meron kayo, SNES or PS1, kung walang arcade cabinet, syempre you can also play this sa SNES at sa PS1. Ayan, typical na Captain Commando. Actually, si Baby din. Isa sa favorite ko dito. Saka si Ginzo. Yung ninja. Yung ninja. Yan yung madalas naming pinipili dyan. Pero dahil dalawa lang ang cambio sa piso arcade cabinet, 2-player lang yung lalaro namin doon. Sadly. Yan. At sabi nga ni Raymond, this is also from Capcom. So, resemblance ng Capcom art. At yun nga, lahat sila nasa Marvel versus Capcom. Kapag nag-i-special or pwedeng i-call out ni Commando yung mga sina Baby Commando, Mami Commando, and Ninja Commando.
Mhm.
Dito. Sa medyo generic. Generic kung ikukumpara ko siya sa Dungeons and Dragons kanina, saka sa Knights of the Rounds, medyo generic yung animation ng attacks niya dito. Generic attacks, jumps, special. Medyo generic. Ang maganda lang dito, merong mount.
Kaya ang naalala ko, hindi naman.
Yes, ride armor na parang sa Mega Man, which is galing din sa Capcom.
Mhm.
'Di ba? 'Di ba? Yung mga
Of
robots
course.
na pwede nyo sakyan dito. Oo, compare sa horse from the Knights of the Rounds, yun yung mount nyo dito. Ayan, mga boss, hindi rin siya ganun kahirap para sa akin. Kaya naman siya tapusin ng ilang piso lang. Magkano lang yung madukot natin that time. Sa pantalon ng parents natin.
Ilan lang yung
Mga
makupe?
10, pwede na siguro. Oo, dalawa kayong na tig 10, kaya nyo nang tapusin to, guys. Ilang lang. Ayan, saka madali rin i-corner yung mga boss dito. Katulad yan. Actually, yung boss na yan, kaya mo i-corner yan doon kapag wala siya sa screen. Napansin ko rin sa
Blanca?
Dungeons Dragons kanina yun. Parang Blanca. I think at eto bumubuga. Mahilig sila sa fire. Siyempre, parang Dalsim. Ay, may Oo, di ba? More on Street Fighter, graphics Parang Street Fighter graphics sila dito. Ayun lang ang masasabi ko regarding.
Alright. Sir Carlo, what can you tell us about Captain Commando?
Yun si Carlo.
Go, Sir Carlo. Go. Captain Commando, Sir Carlo, go.
May kagamba dyan kanina.
Yan na.
Carlo.
Just fixing his
Ikaw muna, Brad.
I think he's fixing his mic. All right. Jay,
Ah.
how about you, Sir Jay? First impressions,
Okay.
Captain Commando.
Oh man, I could talk about Captain Commando because
All right.
well, just like Raymond said, I didn't hear about Captain Commando until Marvel vs. Capcom, the character, and actually when I was in the Philippines, I did play this on PlayStation 1. I even got a copy of it. I never got the chance to play it in the arcade, but I do like this game a lot. This is definitely an underrated gem. I do wish they did more with the series because I'm a fan of the lore itself, and fun fact, Captain Commando is supposed to be like before Mega Man came around, he was supposed to be the mascot for Capcom. That's why his name is
Right.
Captain Commando, Capcom. He had a different look to him, and then years later, Capcom had to. They decided to make this game and gave him a look. And I'm a big fan of Captain Commando himself. I love his visuals, his attacks. This game itself, I would play over and over again. I remember. I really wish I could try the arcade game itself. yeah, I really wish they did more with the series because they had a lot going for it. And I do agree with some points that Papa M said. Like, it's generic, but also it's simple, and I like that they kept it. It's also a unique theme to it as well. I can agree that this game should be it's in my top 10 at least. So I love this game.
I can be Bishamon there. Oh.
Oo. Ay, Jonas, i-add up ko pala. Ano lang, if you know about Final Fight guys from Capcom, etong settings ng Captain Commando was set in the future setting ng Metro City,
Mm-hmm.
yung lugar kung saan sinet yung Final Fight. After yung future dito nakaset sa Captain Commando settings.
Right.
Ayan.
Did not know that. Oh.
Oh.
Right.
Trivia.
Captain Commando. So
So that you will remember.
just like Third J mentioned, I haven't really. The first time I've known Captain Commando, the character was from Marvel vs. Capcom, no? And then you'll see. Then every time that's his super move. What is that? Captain Sword.
Captain
No?
Sword.
Yeah.
All of
Lahat sila labas.
Captain Sword. So all of right. His pass will just show up on his back, doing the Captain Sword up towards that. All right, and then I played the PS1 release back. So I played Marvel vs. Capcom.
98.
One came out what 97, 98,
98.
right? One. And the Captain Commando PS1 game came out soon after that. And around this time, I've already played a lot of beat 'em up games from the arcade and console. So going to this, it's alam niyo yun, parang it's pretty much it's pretty meh to me because I played a lot of beat 'em up games all throughout the 90s. So this is pretty much I only play this because out of respect towards the Captain Commando character. So I played this. I played this with my brother. We beat this game a few times just to see just how's the lore, the character, the story. And then sinabi ni Papa M, apparently this is future of the setting from the final fight.
Metro
I can
City.
see
Future
a lot
setting
of-
ng Metro City.
I can see a lot of recycled characters from I don't know, the Foot Soldiers from the Turtles, Bishmon from Darkstalkers. I can see a few characters from recycled characters from Streets of Rage. Parang halo siya. It's a mix. So if the enemy here, you can pretty much tell this looks like from another game or so. Anyways, it's a fun
Parang
game. If you're going to play this for the first time, it's a very fun game. For what it is, each of them has their own special move. What special move Captain Commando here? The Captain Corridor.
Captain Corridor, yes.
What that's his super move. And then
Captain
the Mami
Corridor.
Kodo, which is Max, so he's just gonna spin. Ginzu, the Ninja Commando, will just
Slice.
jump and have some explosives or something like that.
Yeah.
Explosion.
And then Baby Commando,
Bomb.
ano yung special niya?
The missile.
Missile.
Just the missile. Rocket
Missile.
punch, right?
Yung sickness. yung sickness missile.
Heat-seeking missile. There you go. And that's it, guys. That is Captain Commando, our top 8. No?
Mhm.
Moving on. Our top 7. Top 7. Our timeless gamer. 90s top 10 for number 7. Beat 'em up games, 90s. Streets of Rage 2.
Ooh.
Streets of Rage 2 got 10 votes. Dun, 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 dun,
Deserves more.
dun,
deserves more hate.
Hi.
So Raymond, what can you tell about Street of Rage 2?
Start muna natin kay Sir Prime Time, kay Sir J.
Oh, go, RJ, go.
Uh,
Street of Rage 2.
Thank you.
Let's talk about
Oh man,
I know
the
that's
real
his-
Mr.
this is my number one. This is my number
Yeah.
one. This is my number
Ah.
one. I'm surprised it's very low on this list, but I can understand too. Not everyone had a Sega,
Loves it.
you know.
Oo nga.
But this is my absolute favorite beat 'em up. Kasi, you know,
Kasi,
kasi.
Yeah.
No, I grew up with this game ever since, you know, first grade, second grade. My older brothers, they had a Sega, and I would you know, watch them play, and then eventually I would play them. I'm a huge fan of the series itself. You know, I used to play this like hours upon hours, like, you know, after school. You know, I love every aspect of it. You know, the story. You know, the characters, the different, you know, move set of each character. You know, I would play this even if that I beat it once, I would play it again. You know, in the same sitting. You know, and I love as each game in the series had progressed. You know, the first one I wasn't really too attached to it. I did play it. It's my hirap, of course. You know, the first one I feel is the most difficult of all the games in the series. The second one, I can see why it's the most popular because you know, the music itself as well. The music in all the games are it's more balanced as well. You know, it's the music, the balancing, you know, the definitely upgraded sprites, you know, the whole aspect of it. It's very nice. Streets of Rage 3 is also like one of my top favorites as well. You know, they added dashing to it. They added like a star blitz move as you
Mhm.
level up your points. And there's also different endings that you can you know, achieve depending on how you play the game. And you know, a lot of unlockable characters as well. And then we had to wait at least like maybe 20 years until Streets of Rage 4 came out. And I know this is
That's true.
mostly the 90s, but Streets of Rage 4 I also grown to love as well. I also do have love for I don't know, some people here seen me stream this Streets of Rage remake. It's a fan game that blends all the elements of like the from Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3. And you know, unfortunately it was delivered a cease and desist from Sega. I'm not sure why, but you know,
Oh.
it's a
Copyright
lovely game.
infringement.
Yeah. And I'm surprised too because there's a lot of hackers and modders that make a lot of like, you know, modified Sonic games and fan games as well. And Sega
Right.
didn't even raise an eyebrow for them, but for some reason,
Hindi katulad, unlike Nintendo.
yeah, unlike Nintendo, yeah. So like, yeah, Streets of Rage, I have a lot of love for it. You know, it's such a lovely series. I could go on and on like for days about how I feel about the series. You know, that's it. You know,
Who's your player?
Who's my player?
Who's your main character?
When I was a kid, I used to play as Skate, Kase,
Skate.
breakdancer. I'm also
Of
a
course.
dancer. Yeah,
Dancer
Of course.
kasi si J Prime.
yeah. So, but nowadays, I play as anyone. I like to play as Shiva. He's one of the enemies, but you can also unlock him in
Shiva.
Streets of Rage 3.
In the
Yeah.
hack game, of course, you're gonna use Shiva.
Yeah.
Shiva's
Mhm.
broken.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shiva's pretty much broken.
Broken. OP.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir. Sir Raymond. Streets of Rage.
Parang yung Bare Knuckles yata yung nalaro ko na ito, hindi yung ano eh, yung ito
Same
mismo
team.
eh. Same ba yun? Same?
Yes.
Kasi hindi nalabas to sa ano eh, sa arcade. Alam ko ang Bare Knuckles lang nilabas sa arcade game eh. O sa box. Alam ko yun eh. Tapos
Mm.
may mga ano pa yun eh, may mga ligaya pa yun eh, like yung infinite, unlimited yung power up mo, yung super power. Yun yung natatandaan ko dito eh. Pero itong Street of Rage 2, hindi ko nalaro to eh. Sadly, kasi una, dahil yun nga, Sega Genesis, Sega lang nilabas. So, medyo konti lang yung may Sega that time eh. At the same time, Nintendo yung SNES yung nilalaro namin. So, parang new sa akin to. So, hopefully malaro ko to. Kung wala lang kasi sa RetroArch, kaya hindi ko malaro eh.
Go
So,
with
looking
5K.
for
5K.
5K na lang. Sakto, binigay mo yung link. So, I'll try to play this game. So, looking forward to play this game, guys.
Yes.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Ray. Papa M. Streets of Rage. Bare Knuckle 2. Go.
Ako, ayan, Street of Rage. Honestly, hindi ko rin nalaro to. Hindi ko pa ito nalalaro. Ever since. Guys. And this somehow reminds me of Final Fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yung nakikita ko dito sa animation, sa design. Pero this was originally from Sega, di ba talaga?
Right.
Sega talaga ang naglabas nito at nag-develop. Ayun, doon pa lang sa pagpulot ng mga knives sa floor, kind of reminds me of talaga Final Fight.
Right.
Ayun, ilang characters ang pwede mong gamitin? 4. Pero dalawa lang
2.
Simultaneously.
Oh, you can use you can choose 4, but the one playing is 2.
Right.
Mhm. Okay, so ibang version to, depende. Yun nga kasi yung Sega kasi dati hindi siya ganun ka-abundant dito sa Pilipinas. Dati, more on SFC and Super Famicom nga that time.
Right.
Dito kaysa sa sabi nga ni J Prime, yung Sega was more popular way back sa western countries
Yes.
than the Asian countries. Kaya yun din siguro yung dahilan kung bakit yun, hindi pa namin. Pero nitong mga high school yata, alam ko na to, or college, alam ko ng may Streets of Rage. Pero hindi ko pa siya na-try. So, looking forward to play this game din.
Good.
Ayun.
Co-op.
Yeah, co-op. Let's play this, J
Yeah.
Prime.
I got
Right.
you. You know, also I wanted to chime in, if it's okay. You know, the developers of Streets of Rage, I think from what I've researched and read about it, they actually modeled a lot of this game based off of Final Fight. They I think they invested in the Final Fight arcade in their company, and they took notes and then did what they could and made it their own.
So,
and
para
honestly,
siyang Final Fight clone.
yeah. Like for sure. And honestly, I feel like it has a bigger fan base than the Final Fight.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that's it.
Sa bagay, no, nauna ang Final Fight.
Which
kaysa
one
sa-
came
No,
out?
no, no.
Final Fight
1989. 1989 ang
1989
Final
ang
Fight.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
1992 ang
Right.
Streets of
alright.
Rage 2.
So, kumbaga, ang nasa pyramid na mga bitmap map, start ang nasa taas talaga,
Final Fight.
Final Fight eh.
Right.
Pero
What do
maganda
you know
yung
about
Streets of
this
Rage 4.
game?
Libre ba
Back
siya?
Medyo-
what was
Mahal.
that? Back in 93 or 94, before we even had a Sega, me and my brother would just go to rental shops, and you can either play Sega Genesis, Super Famicom, or Super Famicom or Sega, and the Sega Genesis one is cheaper than your Super Famicom, and every time we go with Sega, we always play this Streets of Rage 2. We played we played Street of Rage 1. For what it's worth, fun game, but in comparison with 2,
Yes.
Street of Rage 1, if you pull off a special, it's just a police car.
Yep.
Then they're just gonna pull out a bazooka and that's it.
Yep.
Then a hailfire of machine gun bullets will just go raining down your opponents, or a bazooka, a blazing circle will just form on your opponents, and then that's it. That's your special moves.
Mm-hmm.
Streets of Rage 2, however, uh, each of the characters have their own special moves. Yes. So Axel, he has two special moves.
Yep.
Blaze has two. Skate has two.
Yep.
And Max, of course, has two. And then moving on with your, but every time you blow off a special move, your health decreases. So they
Yes.
addressed that with Streets of Rage 3, as Sir J mentioned, no? Meron silang parang special meter.
Yep.
If the meter is pretty much full, you can pull off a special move. There's no decrease on your health. But
Yes.
if the special
Mhm.
meter is not fully filled and you pull off a special, then your health decreases. So that's
Yep.
fine, right? If you're patient enough, you can pretty much pull off a special on the right place or the right time. Go for it. On the Street Fighter one, you only play three characters: Adam, Axel, and Blaze.
Mm-hmm.
Streets of Rage 2, Adam's pretty much abducted by the main antagonist, Miss X. So Skate is
Yes.
here, the son of
The
Adam,
younger
just
brother.
to
Younger
save
brother.
his father. And then, of course, the wrestler, Max. No? And then, of course, Blaze and, no, Blaze Axel. When while I was when we were playing this, I always choose Max. Pop bomb, pile
Yeah.
drivers,
Mhm.
Yep.
the atomic
Atomic Buster.
Yep.
ano niya, um, the atomic surf. So he's pretty much Zangief, guys.
Oh.
So even though he's slow, he's powerful as hell. So yung tackle, his sliding kick,
Mhm.
his spinning armor lariat, all good stuff. No, he's pretty. German soups, of course. So every time I use him, I always go for the grapple moves. I don't I don't like punching or kicking everyone. I just go grab them and then suplex here, suplex there.
Oo nga pala, may grab
Because
dito. Yeah.
every time he right, because every time he Max does his grapple moves, the damage to the enemy is quite greater than the rest of the guys. He's the strongest one or he's the slowest, but it all depends on how
Mhm.
you use him. No, unfortunately, you cannot really use all of the grappling moves on the boss characters because they always tend to get away. But otherwise, for your foot soldiers, go on ahead. That's it, Lee. And Shiva, Shiva was first introduced on this game, Sir Jay.
Yes. Yes.
Shiva,
Yeah. He was
Shiva
first.
and wait,
He was the bodyguard of Mr. X, the final boss.
Mr.
Like
X,
he was
yeah.
yeah, and then he was made playable in the third
And
one.
Ash and the kangaroo was on
Three.
Streets of Rage 3,
And
right?
Zan as well,
Okay.
the cyborg. There was a cyborg in the Street
And
Fighter 3.
Zan.
Yeah.
Zan the Sorg.
Mm-hmm.
Streets of Rage 3, I always use Zan because of the extending arms. He has he has some good grappling moves. But still, they took away Max. That pisses me off. The other great thing about this game, guys, as Sir Jay has mentioned, out of all three games, Streets of Rage 1, 2, and 3, the soundtrack on this game, superb, very much so.
Superb.
Mm,
Superb.
yes.
As in, ganda niya.
Agree.
Um, for each stage, talagang uh, Sir Jay, if I'm going to play a certain background music of Streets of Rage 2, you can pretty much tell which stage
Yes.
this music is play. So
Yes.
for each stage, if you're gonna play this a lot, every time you
Iba-iba
hear
siya.
this the background
Every
music, you can
stage.
pretty much tell what stage this is from.
Yep.
What else? I love the ending music as well.
Right.
Meron na ako.
Ano tong- Yeah, bare knuckle, right? And I love the ending theme so much. I've downloaded the ending music of Streets of Rage 2 back in 1997.
Yeah.
I still have it on my phone up till this day. So every time ang ganda niya patutugin guys kapag if you're coming home from work, you're so tired, and then you're gonna play it on your car, and then you're just gonna blast it way too loud, and then papakinggan mo lang siya, just gonna listen to it. Para ano siya? It's one of those music na it kinda makes you think about playing the game from start to finish. There's this kind of feeling na na-fulfill mo yung certain false of fulfillment na natapos mo yung laro from stage 1 to stage 8. Ang ganun yung well, that's for me anyway. It's a very nice music to listen to. So, like, even though paulit-ulit lang paulit-ulit lang kanyang melody, but hey, that's Rage 2, guys. Such a fun game. Try it. If you're able to find it on Red Arch or Fightcade, go on ahead, play this game. See for yourselves. That's for forward punch right there. Ren Zappa.
May combo, no?
That's our what is our top? I lost count already.
Top 6.
So
Top seven?
that's for top 7
Six.
guys, no?
Top
7.
7.
Streets
Yep.
of Rage 2.
Yes.
So moving on to our top 6, guys. Top 6 we got dun, 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 dun. Alien versus Predator. Alien versus Predator for your top 6. And it got how many points? It got 11 votes from the Facebook community. So guys, what can you tell about Alien versus Predator? So Raymond, do you know the game?
Yeah. Capcom pa rin, as usual.
Of course.
As usual.
As usual.
Ah,
Kakailan na yung
Ang-
Capcom. No?
Oo, no? Ang masaya talaga dito sa larong to. Dito yata nag-start yung may mga special move. Yung may mga moveset, like up, down, punch na yung kunyari si Hunter, may specific move na may gagawin. O kaya si Warrior may specific din na gagawin. Yung mga ganong klase. Knowing Capcom, dahil nasa part din ng fighting game, hindi naaalis yung mga ganong moveset nila eh.
Mhm.
At the same time, graphic-wise, yeah, just like yung nakikita nyo, masarap laruin eh. Lalo na kung 3-player o 4-player ka dito. Kasi
Pwede pa mag-4.
Pwede ka mag-4 dito. At the same time, yung spawn ng kalaban mo rito, bundle eh. Kumbaga, maramihan eh.
Mhm.
Yun.
Swarm.
Ayun, Swarm. Aside of that, wala na. Yun. Basta, na-stream ko to eh. Masaya to eh. Na-stream ko na siya actually. Yan.
Alright. Papa M, what can you tell us about Alien versus Predator?
Ako, I didn't play this yet pa rin eh. Hindi ko pa to nalalaro. Actually, this was the first time for me to see this Alien versus Predator. 1994, alright? So, akala ko
1992.
base sa...
1992.
So yung nakita ko, kasi yung na-research ko 1994. 1994 yung na-research ko. So 1992 pa siya. Tapos may 4-player siya. Ang nalaman ko lang is 3-player lang yung pwedeng Kasi si Arnold Schwarzenegger to.
Not necessarily, but yes.
Kamukha niya eh.
Sure.
Kamukha niya. So kung 4-player at may kasama kang isang Predator nakakampi nyo, ayan nga, kasi Alien versus Predator. Kung 4 na player, sino yung isa?
Warrior.
Si
The one-
Warrior,
si Hunter.
Hunter, Yan, si
Mhm.
Major Schaffner, saka si Kurosawa. Yan.
Four.
Actually, apat
Hunter.
yung characters dito. Yan.
Oh. Tapos, this kind of reminds me of Captain Commando. Wala si Captain Commando kasi Capcom siya. Saka tingnan niyo yung fire.
Yeah.
Di ba? Parang kapag naburn yung kalaban sa Captain Commando, parang ganun din yung animation niya. So, ayan, yung animation ng attack. Medyo Commando talaga. Captain Commando talaga yung nakikita ko dito. Tapos tong babae, pangalan nitong babae si Kurosawa.
Kurosawa.
Parang nakita ko siya somewhere. Yung character design niya. Yun, beside kay Schwarzenegger sa kay Predator. Ayun, typical Capcom na mukhang Captain Commando. Okay, I wanna try this sometime with J Prime and
Sure.
kung sino man. Ayun, yun lang. Kasi hindi ko pa ito nalaro talaga so wala pa akong masyadong masasabi. Maybe next time.
All right, Sir Prime. First impressions.
First impressions. Well, I actually did play this game in the arcade back in the late 90s. My local mall had it. There was an amusement, I know something attached to the mall, and I remember vividly playing this game. And what sticks out to me the most about this game is, like, as you can see on the screen, there's so many enemies around. That's what really
So
sticks
many
out to me.
enemies. God damn.
A lot, yeah. And the game itself, it does look impressive. I'd love to stream it, myself as well. It's I like the story of it. You know, the characters, they're very unique. I don't think you would see the, Lieutenant Kurosawa or Major Schaefer like in the movie, but I like it for what it is. And both Predator characters, they look pretty cool from all the gameplay I've seen. So and Papa M does have a point. It does remind me a little bit of Captain Commando. I wish the sprites are definitely bigger than what it is in Captain Commando. Yeah, it's lovely. I love this. I'd love to stream this sometime.
All right. Alien versus Predator. So back in the mid 90s, I say 94, 95. This game is also available in Isetan Recto. So me and my brother played this as well.
Madalas ka sa recto.
Isetan Recto also has this game. Loved the game a lot, actually. I also voted this on my top. So as far as gameplay is concerned, as like Sergey mentioned, the enemies will try to spawn all over you, as in like they will gang rape you if you're not too careful. No, whether you're playing it alone or you have all four characters there, the number of enemies will remain the same. The difficulty remains the same.
So better kung marami kayo.
Wise, it's more preferably if there's a lot of playing this game. Movement wise, this sulat nabi ni Sir Raymond, this is one of those games na ilang just punch kick. In this game, all of your characters have their own specific move. Meron silang Hadouken style na Hadouken move. Move.
May input
Input mo talaga. Input mo talaga.
Input talaga. Shoryuken style, meron Shoryuken, merong hold punch button for at least 3-5 seconds and release. Merong forward punch, downward punch, or you can punch, things like that. No, each dose moves will each character will have a different move for those different combinations. Your bullets or whatever your projectile move, whether you get a gun, each of the guns will have own ammunition. No, you'll see them at the bottom of the screen right there, flashing there. So once the bullets are all consumed, you're stuck with your main weapon. No, Lieutenant Lin Kurosawa, she uses her sword.
sometimes she will drop her sword. If she drops her sword, meron siyang another there's another move set if she's in hand-to-hand combat. Same with same with Hunter, same with Warrior, and same with Schaefer. So if they lose their main weapon, their move list changes. So ganun siya.
Ilang ka naman nagsabi.
What else can I tell about this game? Lots of alien crawlers here and there. Oh, if you're gonna play this game, guys, once you reach what I think stage 7, and then you're gonna fight alien queen. Don't believe it. Ju- don't believe you see it on the screen. Yun lang masasabi ko. That's all I can say. If you're gonna if you're gonna see an alien queen, don't no. There's a lot more coming after that. Good game. It's a good game. I had the fondest memories playing this game with my brother. Spent lots of tokens just to finish this game. Good stuff. Good stuff. If you're able to play the game, guys, Retro R or Fight Gate, go ahead and give it a try. But I really suggest that you play this with somebody else. I mean, well, if you're gonna play it anyway, you can pretty much go have all the credits that you can. No? Just continue into the game, play with all the characters, see which is best for you. I usually go with Kurosawa. If I press and hold the punch button, she will perform. Parang alam mo to, Papa M.
Ano yan?
She's basically Chun-Li. She's gonna perform a
Ah.
Kikosho.
Huh?
Right,
Magkikikosyo
RJ?
siya. Actually, she kinda reminds
Yeah.
me of a special character na pwede mong isamon sa Marvel vs. Capcom 1. Yung mga hitters, yung may baril na soldier. Ewan ko kung familiar kayo. Kapag, di ba, yun, oo nga, no?
Fun
May
fact.
habukan siya.
Mga side characters yung pang
Side
assist.
characters. Pang
Mga
assist
assist
character
yun.
sa Marvel vs. Capcom. Yung may Armalite.
As far as cameos is concerned, I think Lin Kurosawa is the
Kasama siya
only
nag-cameo.
one from this
Infinite.
game who made a cameo.
Sa
Ken
Infinite
Stage
Capcom.
in
Yes.
Capcom's
Ken
SNK
Stage.
and Ryu Stage as well. I think you can see her on the hot wings. I think she's there. And there's also in Ken Stage one of she was wearing a cocktail dress or something. She was
In
there.
Street Fighter Alpha, I think. Yeah.
Anyway, Street Fighter Alpha. She's there as well.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yep, that's it, guys. This is our top. This is our top picks. Alien versus Predator. So was released after what? After Alien and after Predator. So why not put them together in a game? Forbid we don't get the rights for Arnold Schwarzenegger. Let's just make him look alike. All right. Capcom made this.
Copyright
Capcom once again made the game. All good stuff. Moving on. So our top. So that was our top 6. Alien versus Predator.
Top 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on, our top 5. Top 5 po tayo. Final Fight 1. Final Fight 1, guys, it garnered 12 votes from the FB community.
Mhm.
Final Fight 1. Out of, there were what? In the SNES games, there were 3 that were released. Final Fight 1, 2, and 3. But apparently, this one got the most votes. But there's a story why. Anyway, Jay, what can you tell us first about Final Fight 1?
Final Fight. I mean,
The
I already
original.
expressed right. I already expressed my love for Streets of Rage, but you know what? I got to give it to Final Fight as well because they're one of the originators. I would say, not the first beat 'em up, but they definitely revolutionized the whole beat 'em up
Came up
aspect.
from,
Yeah, right. So, yeah, I do like its story as well. You know, the characters, they being one of like the pioneers of like the whole beat 'em up thing, you know, it's balanced. You know, all the characters are good in their own ways, and you know, I also enjoyed playing this in the arcade as well. I used to put in a lot of quarters, you know, because it's a difficult game, you know, and the enemies will come up on you, you know, without
Behind.
either right behind, you know,
Always.
of all directions. So you know, I did play Final Fight 2 on the SNES, on the Super Nintendo as well. I do remember having like fond memories playing that in the Philippines with my cousin. You know, the games on the Super Nintendo, they're decent. You know, they of course it didn't live up to like what the arcade had, but you know, due to the limitations, I do like Final Fight 3 where they added like super moves for the characters as well. Guy makes a return. Haggers in all three of them. Um, what else? We don't talk about Final Fight Streetwise. I'm sure some people have heard about that one, but that's not even like considered really 90s. But you know, I do appreciate this game as well for you know, it's a good brawler game. I'll give it that. You know, I would play this as well. I've yet to stream it, but um, yeah, it's lovely. I also do like the Game Boy Advance version as well. Final Fight 1. It's like a little remix of the arcade, and they add a little bit more elements to it. And you know, I also do like that it's set in the Street Fighter universe as well. You know, a guy he appears in all the Street Fighter Alpha and the other games as well. So does Cody, and yeah, I appreciate the series as well.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Jay. So Raymond, Final Fight 1. Go.
Well, Capcom. Still Capcom. 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 Well,
The best Capcom games, guys.
yeah.
Pretty much.
The good thing about Capcom games, yung mga characters nila, hindi nila pinapabayaan. And for this part, Final Fight, yung iba, hindi kilala sila nung lumabas. Nung nilabas ang Street Fighter Alpha, hindi kilala si Guy. And then Street Alpha 3, yung mga ibang bagong players, hindi kilala si Cody. Nalaro ko siya once, SNES din. SNES. At the same time, maganda naman siyang beat-up game. At isang beses ko lang tinapos. Ngayon, tinatry kong laruin nakahanda na siya sa favorite ko sa mga retro art. Ayun sa retro art ko kasi ginawa ko siyang list para matry ulit. At the same time din, may mga trivia rin pala to. Ito yung dapat na na sequel sa Street Fighter ng Capcom. Ayan. Ito dapat yung sequel sa Street Fighter.
Si Street Fighter 1.
Sa Street Fighter 1 Ito yung dapat gagawin nila. Yun nga, nag-iba yung ihip ng hangin. Ginawa
So,
nilang
gawin na natin tong bit.
ayan.
Ibang title.
Ibang title na.
Final
So,
Fight, hindi na Final Fighter.
Okay.
Ayun, yun lang. I'm looking forward to play it again through RetroArch and maybe ma-stream ko din with Papa M. Kung may sa RetroCade, di ba? Papa M. Ayan.
Final Fight. Ay, sa Fightcade, pwede natin laro.
Pwede natin i-stream to.
Alright. Thank you for that, Sir Ray. Papa M. Just ask Final 1, go.
Ayan, Final Fight 1, 1989. Of course, Capcom, sabi nga ni Raymond. At ni Jay. Yes, so mother of all beat 'em ups.
Yeah,
Parang
pretty
ganun.
much.
Kahit na sabihin natin na there was, what do you call that, yung beat 'em up sa NES. Actually, hindi. Actually, parang nauna yata to sa
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
Yes.
Yep. Yun nga, Street Fighter like. Dito halos kinuha ng Street Fighter yung karamihan sa characters na nilalabas nila every Street Fighter. Cody. Cody and Guy. Itong piniplay namin arcade. Itong pinlay ko guys arcade. This was the arcade version of Final Fight 1. Kapag nilaro mo siya sa SNES Final Fight, tatlo? Tama? Dalawa? Tatlo ang Final Fight. 3 ang Final Fight sa tawag dyan sa SNES. Tapos meron pang hiwalay para malaro mo si Guy. You should buy the Final Fight Guy. With Guy sa title. Final Fight Guy. Yun yung port sa console. Kailangan po bumili ng separate just to play.
Right.
Just to have a chance to play using Guy.
Yes.
Tapos, yun nga, yung mga binanggit ko, maliban kay Cody, saka kay Guy na protagonist dito sa game, kumuha din sila sa mga kalaban. Katulad ni Yugo, yung malaking tao na mukhang taong gubat. Si Rolento, yung tao, si Rolento, yung may baton. Si Rolento. Si Poison na mukhang hostess dito. Si Poison na mukhang hostess na trivia sa Japanese, babae si Poison, guys. Pero pagdating sa North America, ginawa siyang transgender.
Ito si Sodom.
Saka si Sodom, and si Sodom, kasama din si Sodom actually, sa kinuha ng Street Fighter as a fighter.
Right.
Dun sa Street Fighter game. Ayun, si Poison, ginawa siyang transgender.
Yep.
Para lang masabing lalaki siya. So sa US, he was originally a man na nag-trans into trans woman. So para lang masabi siya na lalaki pa rin si Poison. Kasi alam niyo naman US, 'di ba, when it comes to women sa video games. Yun yung masyado silang sensitive doon. So that's why ayun si Abigail, kinuha din nila dito yung parang wrestler something sa Final Fight na lumabas lang ulit sa Street Fighter 5. Grappler din siya actually. Para siyang si Sangiv na Yugo something yung build ganun. Tapos yun nga, sabi ko kanina sa Captain Commando, yung settings nito, yung Metro City na tinatawag nila, itong city na kinakagalawan ni na Cody, ni na Guy, ni na ito, Argar, kalimutan ko, pangalan nito malaking tao. Yan, Metro City, yung future version nito ginamit nila sa Captain Commando. So same universe sila. Ayan, tapos Street Fighter like, yan, bonus round, gisira ka din ng kotse. Ayun, tapos pwede ka rin mag-pick up ng weapons katulad sa ibang, katulad ng Street of Rage nga. Sabi nga ni Jay, isa to sa influence ng Street of Rage. Pwede ka rin pumick up ng items dito. At ginagawa rin ni Cody yun sa Street Fighter. Mayroon siyang dagger or knife na pinupulot. Dito ba in-introduce na ba yung niya dito? Yung Hurricane? Or sa Street Fighter lang siya nagka-Hurricane?
Diyan lang.
Sa Street Fighter lang siya nagka-Hurricane, no? Saka hindi pa siya dito. What's that story ba? Bakit prisoner siya sa Street Fighter?
No idea.
Bakit siya naka-prisoner suit?
What's the story of Street Fighter, you said?
Oo, si Cody.
Oh, for Cody?
Di ba he's wearing a prisoner suit? Clothes?
I think because he's wearing a prisoner because he was either framed or I forget because
so
he was wrongfully
that's why na-imprison siya.
Actually, he was in prison because he would get in a lot of street fights. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
All right.
Even after you save the city, you would still fight. So yeah.
All right. So ayan si Yugo, guys. Ayan si Yugo. Ayan, yung nakachitain na Ilang.
Yugo was also in Street Fighter 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 3.
Ni-research ko kung research it kung bakit si Cody naka-jail suit o yung jail uniform.
Mhm.
Yung mga, yun, sabi sa Google, thanks Google, love you. Ang sabi sa Google, yung mga crimes daw ni Guy,
Mhm.
na, na frame up si Cody. So, nagkaroon ng fallout yung dalawang to. So, sa Alpha,
So hindi
nag-fallout.
sila nagkasundo.
Hindi
Yung mga
nagkasundo.
yung mga kaso ni Guy napunta kay Cody.
Napunta si Cody. Alam ko may sequence yan sa Alpha 3 yung pag silang dalawa yung naglaban, may part na just like in King of Fighters, may mga specific na
Mhm.
taunts, ganon.
Oo.
So, yun nakakatuwa.
Teka lang,
Thank you.
Okay, sige, sagutin ko lang tanong ni Jarina. Nagtanong kasi si Jarina, yung elevator na game ba, beat 'em up. Siguro sinasabi niya dito is yung elevator action. Hindi siya beat 'em up. More on siya platforming shooter. Ayun.
That's
Iba po
correct.
yung beat 'em up sa sa platformer shooter game, arcade. Alright?
May addition din ako kay Hagar din.
Okay,
Siya
Hagar.
yung unang-unang champion ng Street Fighter.
Mhm.
Ayan.
Si Hagar.
Oo.
My God.
Ayan. Diba?
Ayan, 3 Yugos.
Ay, Trius. Pero
The
pero
3 Yugos.
Andore yung pangalan niya, oh.
Andore pa siya dyan. Ayun.
All right. So what can I tell about this game? If Streets of Rage 2 is all of the Sega, if all of the Genesis were already being are currently preoccupied by people, no, we usually go for the SNES, and if we want to play some beat 'em up games and we can't play with the Sega Genesis, we go with the Super Famicom. So we go with Final Fight, and I haven't really at the time we had Final Fight 2. Final Fight 2 and 3. So I haven't really played Final Fight 1 back in the 90s. But I always go with Hagar. If I play Max, it's with Rage, I go with Hagar. Of course, grappling moves, no. So
grappling
I always go with the grappling moves.
power
Back in the 90s, I also like wrestling, WWF wrestling. So I always go with the ring moves. From Bit of Rage, go with Final Fight, and this was before no Final Fight. I'm like, this one looks like Axel, this one looks like Max. And I'm like, okay, who's ripping off who, right? All right, Sergey. But of course, Final Fight 1 came out first. All right, it's Streets of Rage. It just so happens between the two, Streets of Rage has a little bit more fan base than the Final Fight 1. But hey, no. And playing Street Fighter Alpha 1, 2, and 3, doon ko lang mas na-realize na, I know Sodom, I know Horto,
Yep.
I know Cody.
Actually, una ko rin na laro yung Street Fighter bago yung final.
Because I played, because I was pretty much, I haven't really played Final Fight that much. Because I really go with Streets of Rage first rather than the Final Fight. And then when I play Street Fighter Alpha 0, 1, 2, 3, then okay, now I remember these guys. They are not much as well designed. Looking at Final Fight 1, but you can pretty much tell, that's Rolento, that's Sodom, it's Poison right there. Right? In terms of gameplay, Streets of I would prefer which has Maki, Sergey?
Maki. Dito si Maki. Yata. Dito si Maki yata. Capcom si Maki.
1, 2, or 3?
Maki. Which one's Maki? The knife thrower?
Female. The female.
female.
The female.
Maki.
The female ninja.
Sa 2.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, si
Love her.
Maki yata ay girlfriend ni Guy.
No. Sister-in-law. Sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law. Ayun,
Yeah.
sister-in-law ni Guy. Yung girlfriend pala ni Guy, yung na ano doon, na
Kidnap.
kidnap.
Yeah.
Na-kidnap. So,
Na-kidnap.
tinulungan
Anak ni
sila.
Hagar.
Ano,
Anak ni
oh,
Hagar.
anak ni Hagar ang girlfriend
Yung
ni
girlfriend ni
Cody.
Guy.
Cody.
Ni Guy.
Cody.
Ni
Ni
Cody.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. So,
You're
kalito
mixing up
na.
your characters, guys.
Drama.
As far as I can tell,
drama.
Guy and Maki pretty much trained under the same master of
Yes.
ninjutsu.
Bushin.
Alright. Para
Bushido.
sila ninja type. Bushido.
And what I like about Maki is, syempre, Maki. I love her high kick.
Siyempre.
I love high kick.
Ani
That's all
kick.
I say.
Ani kick.
Ito na naman tayo sa one culture thing.
Every time she does her high kick, I tend to pause. Then I just take a closer look.
Wow.
Ay, parang si Poison.
Oh
God
no,
is
Final
Hope.
Fight 2. Yes, you can. All right.
Diba?
Actually, about Poison, I never. When the actual news came out that Poison was actually a guy, I was like, oh really? Si Poison. But looking at Final Fight 1, no. You didn't really realize there's a backstory behind Poison.
Yun nga eh. Sa US lang naman siya ginawan
Where's
kasi
Alex?
violence against women.
Right.
Women.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh,
So, babae talaga
where's
siya.
Alex here?
Alex.
Where's
si
Alex?
Si Alex? Teka lang, sa 3 ba si Alex?
Mm.
Final Fight 3? Alex in Wonderland?
Which game Alex came out? One. I don't remember him showing in 1. I don't remember him showing in 2.
Wala. Sa 2. Wala.
I vaguely played 3.
So sa 3 yata si Alex.
Alex, no. Alex, I think you mean Dean.
Alex sa Street Fighter?
Street Fighter? Yeah. That's what I just Googled too.
Oh, si Alex sa Street Fighter lumabas eh.
Street Fighter 3.
Because in Street Fighter Third Strike, remember guys, if Hugo and Alex are about to fight, they're staring at each other face to face, and I'm like, why? Is there a reason why?
Because they're grapplers, wrestlers.
Wala, hindi siya kasama, Brad. Hindi siya kasama.
Hindi
siya kasama.
Nah, he's not in the Final Fight.
Wala siya sa Final Fight.
So there's
Street Fighter lang.
So Alex is pretty much a original character for Street Fighter Third Strike.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not from Final series. Okay.
Yep.
May tanong
nakapagtaka lang. Kasi kapag silang dalawa yung magkalaban, nagtitinginan sila. Sabi ko, bakit? Anong meron?
May tanong si Dave.
Para may drama lang. Ayun, may tanong si Dave. May characters ba from Street Fighter na nag-cross naman sa Final Fight?
No.
Hindi pwede mag-cross kasi nauna ang Final Fight kaysa sa Street Fighter eh.
Pero lang sa mga, ito sa Street Fighter 2. Kasi halos nagtama na sila nung 2 saka 3 na Final Fight. Pero wala pa rin naman.
Wala eh.
Parang lang din. Parang, what do you call that? Yung sa kay Nario Sakasaki. Saka Robert Garcia. Ano yun? Yung hiwalay na nila? Fighting game. Art of Fighting. Walang King of Fighters character na nag-jump papunta sa Art of Fighting. Parang Art of Fighting to King of Fighters. Saka,
because
Fatal Fury to King of Fighters. Parang ganun.
Yeah, because Street Fighter will forever remain a fighting game, and then Final Fight will forever remain a beat 'em up game.
So yun.
I mean, would be great sana kung merong Street Fighter character who goes over to the Final
Siguro,
Fight. And
in the future,
parang probably mod it.
Naglabas naman.
Mga mod, pwede.
Naman ng siguro
baka
gumawa sila.
Capcom
is Capcom. Oo.
Diba?
Maglalabas sila.
Why not?
Oh.
I mean,
Malay mo, makita mo si Akuma dyan.
Si Akuma. No, but if they were able to mod or hack the Streets of Rage and added a few characters there, why
Oh.
not Street Fighter, right? I mean,
Oh.
look at the sprites here of Final Fight. It's not much different from what Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Yeah,
At
Right.
least sprite wise, they could use that, paste them here,
exactly.
and well,
Yeah,
right.
Mm.
You got your crossover right there, even if it's just a hack or a mod,
right.
right?
Yun lang.
You know,
Um,
fun fact. This game was originally supposed to be called Street Fighter '89, but at the last,
89. Ay,
Yeah.
sinasabi ni ano na sequel ng Street Fighter 1.
Yan
yeah,
dapat
yeah,
ang sequel nila eh.
right.
Mm.
But they
Street
changed it to
Fighter
Final Fight.
89.
Yeah,
Oh. Basically, Street Fighter naman sila lahat.
Oo, nilabas din nila eh. Isa-isa nilalabas ng Capcom sa Street Fighters ano eh.
Mm.
Diba?
So,
So
yun, I think
that's the good thing about Capcom,
looking at the
diba?
characters, looking at the enemies from Final Fight 1, Sir J, I'm like, I can see a lot of influence here
yeah,
that Streets
I
of
could see.
Rage took liberties from.
right.
From like from the guns, the ball characters, these guys as well,
Yes,
the fat guys, the lays, Y signal, the one with the
The
hose,
Sans.
the one with
State
Yep.
of Rage.
right, the guys. They almost they have almost identical character design,
So
but of course, so this one came out first. So let's give
I
them
think
the credit.
nagkakatamaan yata
deserves,
sila
no?
dito. Tama, di ba? They can hit each other, di ba?
Yes.
May friendly fire dito.
Hmm.
Kaya mayroon
can,
din
they
sa
can.
Final Fight, may friendly fire. Ayun, I think that's it for Final
All
Fight,
right.
guys.
yeah.
Final Fight, guys. So that is your number
4?
number 5, no? Number so we're approaching number 4. So your timeless gamer top 4 90s beat 'em up game. Tan-taranan. Garnered 13 votes. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Cadillacs and
By which-
Dinosaurs, guys. So
By which developer?
you
Who
got
developed it?
Cadillac, Dinosaurs.
Capcom.
I know, guys, for the longest time, I didn't know Capcom made this. All right. Who wants to go first? Sir Raymond.
Mustafa.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, go.
Favorite character, Mustafa. Flying kick.
Mustafa, go. Oh,
Dito ako nag-uubos ng token talaga eh. That panahon na tumatambay ako sa arcade shops. Na pag natatalo sa fighting game, itong pampalubag loob ko eh. At, hindi naman inuubos pala yung tokens. I can finish the game for at least 2 to 3 tokens. Yeah. That's,
Magkano token that time?
I think it's 6 pesos ba? 6?
mahal.
Mahal.
4 pesos lang sa atin.
Kasi sa amin before is may for a 20 pesos bibigyan ka ng 5 tokens, parang libre yung isa,
Alright.
diba? So yun, parang ito yung mga game na masasabi kong kaya kong laruin araw-araw na beat up game kasi para sa akin ito yung isa sa mga masasayang laro na tinabayan ko yung tumatambay ako sa arcade shops eh. So I love this game. Dapat nga top 1 to eh. Sorry. Joke.
Based on availability.
Ah.
All right. Why Mustafa? Question.
The flying kick itself. Tapos meron siyang just like Capcom. May mga move siya na may move list siya kagaya ng pag tumalon si Mustafa ng jump tapos ida-down mo yung joystick mo, then punch. Mag horizontal kick siya. Pa-slide na kick. Alam mo 'yun?
Diagonal. Parang
Diagonal,
kay Robert.
diagonal kick.
Robert.
Tapos
ng King of Fighters.
yung parang
Parang
pag
dive kick.
nag-dash ka, yan, katulad nito, yung nag-dash ka,
Dalawang paa.
At the same time, meron din siya yung pag nag-hold, magsa-somersault.
Mhm.
Ayun. Marami etong Cadillacs versus Dinosaur ito kasi yung mga marami rin moveset na ginawa ang Capcom dito eh. Na inadapt nila sa ibang games din nila. So yun. Yan, stream ko na rin yan.
Alright.
Kasi nga favorite ko.
Lot of recycled enemies here, Sir Jay.
Yeah.
As you can see.
Yeah.
A lot
Oh,
of
parang
recycled
binabago lang
design,
nila yung
enemy design here.
yung kulay.
Yeah.
Yung
Capcom made a
pangalan.
lot of beat 'em up games, but they were very, very lazy in terms of enemy
Yeah.
design.
Right.
Wala
Sir Jay,
naman
what can
kasi
you tell us
sila
about
masyadong
Castle?
wala sila masyado na kalaban that time. Ano lang kalaban nila? Konami, Irem,
Mm-hmm.
Neo
SNK.
Geo,
Right.
Ah,
Ayun,
SNK.
diba?
Yep.
That's right.
Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I've never
Pero-
played it myself. But I've seen a lot of my friends play it and stream it. I would love to check it out as well. If I had to choose, I'd play as the woman. Say,
Si Hana.
Si
Nice.
Hana.
yeah.
Ayun,
I'll play
bukaka.
Hana.
Ayan,
Of
nice.
Love her.
Yeah.
Love her.
Ayun, sinasabi mo, horizontal. Ayun,
Yeah.
diagonal
Love
pala.
her,
Ayun,
love her.
diagonal king. Si
Yeah.
Hana meron din.
Yeah, I do like it. It's very unique, and I'm very surprised that
Rider kick.
Capcom has access to a lot of licenses back in the 80s and 90s, and it's a shame that Capcom is not as lakas as lakas as they were before. But I do like this game. It's very unique in its way. A lot of the Capcom beat 'em ups are unique in their own way, but I can see why it's one of the top as well. It's you can't think of it's Cadillacs and dinosaurs. What more do you want? Like what?
Mhm.
But
Wait, what?
yeah, it's unique. I like it. I would play it.
Mhm.
Go.
Ako, ito, isa din sa bumuhay sa amin nung bata kami. Isa din to sa pinuntahan ng mga dinukat namin na barya at that time when I was a kid. And ayun na, Hana din ako dito. Hana ang character ko dito. Syempre, Hana, tingnan niyo naman, no? Oh. 'Di ba, sexy. Yun yung mga nagpalaki sa amin that time, yung mga ganyang character. So, Cadillac and dinosaurs. Cadillac. Kasi yung kotse na ginagamit nila dito is Cadillac. Oh, may stage din dito na gagamitin yung kotse na Cadillac dito.
Stage
Syempre, isa to sa that time unique na beat 'em up or game kasi may dinosaur siya. 'Di ba? Kapag bata ka, you love dinosaurs. You love dinosaurs.
Kay Denver, Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Oh, 'di ba? You love dinosaurs except Barney.
Barney.
Barney, so millennial yon si Denver yung pinaka that time.
Yeah.
Si
Denver.
Millennial. Si Denver.
Denver the Last Dinosaur.
The last dinosaur.
Denver the Last Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. Ayun nga. Ayun, tapos picking up items, parehas lang halos ng medyo siya, sa akin, tingin ko, napansin ko, simula nung nag-play tayo kanina ng mga beat 'em up top 10s, medyo, siya, medyo, siguro may influence din si, dito, Captain Commando. Medyo Captain Commando na may comic. Tingnan niyo yung, nila, Pow, di ba, kapag may mga ganong effects. Parang comic. Kasi may nagsabi dito, sino yun?
Based sa
Galing daw to
comics,
sa
actually.
novel. Oh, based
Based
sa
sa
comics
comics.
kasi. Kaya may comics effect. Kaya tapos nagsasalita sila, meron silang caption kapag umaatake. Saka si Capcom mahilig siya sa yellow na gauge tapos magiging red pag nabawasan. Pansin ko, dun sa mga game niya, yellow tapos yung damage red. Ayan, yun yung napansin ko sa kanya. Ayun na, this is a fun game, of course. the usual na beat 'em up natin pero may sword and guns and Cadillac and dinosaurs, syempre. Yun nga sabi ni Jo, parang recycled. Iniba lang yung palette na color palette ng mga laban dito. Ito si Mami yan eh, yung hawak na yan. Posture ni Mami yung may dalawang dagger actually. Pinalitan lang ng costume. Ayan.
Oh
Ayun,
my God.
that's it.
What can I tell about this game? Circa back in the mid-90s, Isitan Reactor also has this game. So it was a pretty fun time during that during the mid-90s. No? Meron din to sa Isitan to. So parang nag-arcade hopping lang ako eh. Alien vs Predator, Cadillac Dragons, and then Shadow over Mistara. Paikot lang ako nun, no? Pagkatalo ko sa isa, I go to the next one. When I was a kid, I didn't know what a Cadillac means. For all I know, that's what they call themselves, Cadillacs. Only when I grew up and then, it's a car. Okay, I didn't know that. Okay. This guys, think of it. This is even before Dino Crisis. This is Dino Crisis if you're not using any guns. This is Dino Crisis pretty much if you're only using only if you want to beat them up without using guns at all. No. Yun lang. I mean, not much dinosaur here. Most of the time, you're just fighting human characters. Would have been great, no, if you're actually fighting more dinosaurs than people.
Limited yun lang.
But you know, that's the title. So you're expecting more. You're fighting actual
More of
dinosaurs. Diba? More dinosaurs, but no, you're fighting more people here. Parang the dinosaurs here, guys, are just basically cameos. Here and there, no. Yun lang. I mean, it's cool. Like Sir Raymond, I go for Mustafa. Flying kick, guys. If you're the enemy, stay away from the line of sight of that flying kick. No. Lahat ng mga taong tatamaan, if Mustafa na do a flying kick, all of those enemies within that special area of vicinity tatamaan flying kick. You'll get hit by that flying kick of his. No, even Sir Carlo's favorite character is Mustafa, and for some reason he can do the whirlwind kick. I'm not sure.
Tatsumaki.
What came out first? This or Street Fighter 1?
Street Fighter 1 nata ang una. Street Fighter nang nauna, yes. 1993 na kasi itong Cadillac and Dinosaurs.
I'm not sure, pero siya yata yung unang student ni Goken, but he cannot pull off Hadouken. All he can do is the whirlwind.
Whirlwind kick.
So,
Tatsumaki.
If Ryu specializes on the Hadouken, if Ken specializes on the Shoryuken, Mustafa here specializes on the kicks. So,
Parang Robert. Parang si Robert.
Right? He likes using all. He's a kick fighter, no? But what can there's 4 characters you can choose from here.
Hindi lang nila ginamit.
Your typical Axel. You got Axel, Max, Blaze, and Adam here, right, Sir Jay?
Yep. Definitely.
You have your that's your
Adam.
pseudo switch characters right here.
Yeah.
As we have mentioned, as you can notice, no, Capcom pretty much recycled all their the enemy designs here, all of the color palette, just switch and change a few things here and there. Anyway, ito yung mga laro na sabi ko, kapag once you run out of ammunition using your pistol, babato. They'll just throw the gun.
Pag wala nang laman, hindi mo yung bato.
Hey, seriously, I mean, if you're using a gun and you ran out of bullets, what's the next thing that you can do, di ba? Pupuk or you you just throw it to the guy. Hopefully, the blood
Oh,
trauma
pag ubos ng ammo
will
mo.
hurt him more.
Tama, tama.
Batuhin mo na lang.
Mm.
So, aside from so we were able to finish this game like at least once or twice. Per each level, it got a little bit it got harder and harder. Kasi
Ayun, si Mami yan.
parami na laban. I can't remember who's the boss character here. But because we usually die on level 6. Either gabi na kasi or gusto na kami ng token.
Mhm.
That's it, guys. Well, that's it for me as far as this game is concerned. No, Cadillac and
Correct.
Dinosaurs, guys. So that is your number 4. No, 13
Number
votes
4.
from the Facebook community. Approaching
Number
top 3.
3.
No, so number 3. Number 3,
Number
guys.
3.
Ten, 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 ten,
Ten, ten,
ten,
Let's go.
ten, ten, ten. Garnering 13 points. The Simpsons. Okay. Sir Raymond, would you like to go first?
Honestly, hindi ko siya nalaro. Parang nanghihinayang tuloy ako.
Wait.
Hindi ko siya nalaro. Parang kasi that time,
Really?
parang
Simpsons?
nakikain ko yan ako. Pero nanonood ako ng Simpsons. Yun nga lang, hindi ko siya nilaro. Bakit kaya? No? So, hopefully malaro ko to. Matry malaro.
Capcom?
Konami.
No, this is not a Capcom. Konami.
Hindi, hindi
Dede.
Capcom.
Go with this one.
Konami.
Konami.
Konami siya. So, yan, hopefully malaro ko siya in future. Meron ba ito sa Retrocade? Meron?
Fightcade meron.
Fightcade meron?
Meron sa Fightcade. Oh.
Ayan, sakto. Sige. Looking forward to it.
Yun lang.
All right. Sir J, The Simpsons.
Okay, I can talk about The Simpsons. Yes, I played this in the arcade multiple times. Very fun. It's not too long ago. I think maybe 2 months ago I played in an arcade. I was hanging out with friends that I met through streaming, and it's definitely a fun arcade to play. I grew up watching The Simpsons. I'm not sure how it was in the Philippines. I do remember my cousin saying he watched a little bit of it, but The Simpsons itself is based on an American family, and me being based in America, I remember watching it every night, 6 p.m., 6 or 7 p.m. after school, every night. And my brothers were huge fans of The Simpsons, so this game does is near and dear to my heart as well. I know a lot about The Simpsons. It's not the same as it was when it first started, but the game quality itself, it's also surprisingly it's not Capcom this time, it's Konami. They did a great job of putting this out as well. This game was also made when The Simpsons had it was like in its early season, so a lot of the boss characters and the characters themselves, like the enemies that you fight, they didn't appear in the show. They were just specifically made in this game. And I would also like to say it's a shame that it's a shame that they didn't really do more with this. Aside from this lone arcade game, I wish they made more Simpsons fighting games. But the aspect, everything is fun. Me myself, I've never figured out how to do the partner moves. You grab a partner and you do something with them.
Combination attack.
Yes.
Yeah, combination. Yeah. So, but yeah, this game is definitely also in my top 10. I love the Simpsons beat 'em up. Very good game.
May mga
Alright.
bonus stage pa siya, no? It has bonus.
Yeah, bonus stage as well. And this game, I also love it because it was one of the first games like I ever had like played with the PRG family. It was the first time I really bonded with everyone. It was I love this game for what it is.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Jay. Simpsons.
Ako, I didn't play it pa eh. Kasi siguro, wala eh. Wala dito sa ano namin eh. Sa Piso Arcade that time. Saka sa arcade sa Walter. When I was a kid. Then, actually lately ko lang nalaman na may Simpsons Arcade. Ano na siguro, college na ako that time. Pero, based on what I am watching right now, it looks cute and fun.
Di ba?
It's weird. Oh, masaya siya.
Masaya siya eh.
Actually, pinapanood ko pa lang siya. Napapangiti na ako. Actually, hindi ko masyado napapanood yung The Simpsons that time. More on Tagalog anime kasi ako when I was a kid. And, ayun. So, ayun, basta parang saya niya. Isipin mo buong pamilya, sina Marge, oh. Sina Marge, may dala siyang vacuum cleaner.
May maso nga si Maggie. Ay, Marge, ano?
J Prime, let's play this next time.
Sige. I'm down.
Masaya. I wanna play this.
Sali ko.
Oh, sali ka.
Yeah.
Sali ka. Let's play this. I want to play this. Yun lang masasabi ko.
Sir Joe will like. Guys, Sir Joe will like to play this as well.
Right.
Invite Sir Joe as well.
Mm-hmm.
Sir
Yeah,
Joe loves to play
Ay,
this game.
oo. I
No.
Alright.
Sige. Yun lang masasabi ko. Wala akong masasabi masyado regarding dito.
What can I tell
It looks fun.
About the Simpsons, no? Back in the mid 90s, the first time I encountered with the Simpsons aired in the Philippines, RPN Channel 9, 9 p.m. every Friday night. Every Friday night, napalabas siya sa Channel 9 during the mid 90s. That's the first time na encounter ko ang Simpsons. So mid 90s, of course. Since I've already watched, I think that was the first season and second season of Simpsons, no? And coincidentally, since napanood ang Simpsons sa TV, meron din siya Isitan Recto. Would you believe it? No? So Isitan Recto also had yes, Isitan Recto had this game as well. So it's a good time to be a beat 'em up player back in the kung nandun kayo sa Isitan Recto, kung taga kayo. So 4 actors here, no? The arcade cabinet, Sir Jay, correct me if I'm wrong. It depends. You cannot really choose your character here.
Yes.
The first player will always choose Marge.
Yes.
Okay. So, ano na sila? In order na sila.
Second character will always be Homer. Third character will always be
Bart. Tapos Lisa.
Fourth character will always be Lisa. So if you're going to play this on the arcade cabinet, if you're not too careful, most people will go for Marge because that's the first player, right?
One player.
One player, diba? So you would because you're the first player, you will always go for the first player part. So most people tend to use Marge without knowing anything, and that's fine. Marge uses the vacuum cleaner as her main weapon. Homer will just his fists. That's all he's for. And then Bart will use his skateboard, and then Lisa will have her jumping rope, right? So Marge and Homer will have their own special combination move. Art and Lisa have their own as well. The basic story, Sergey, what's the basic story of
The Simpsons?
if you can still remember.
The basic story of The Simpsons or the arcade?
The arcade game.
The arcade game. Maggie gets kidnapped by Mr. Burns and Smithers, and the family has to rescue the baby. And they go through all the
why Maggie gets kidnapped. There's reason why.
Oh, Maggie gets kidnapped. You see it in the beginning in the intro. There's like a crown jewel that that Mr. Burns had, and then somehow ended up as Maggie's pacifier. So
Sa pass.
Mr. Burns is like, "Oh, I'm taking
Pass.
this." But
There
I'm
you
taking,
go.
yeah.
Ten, ten, ten,
So,
ten.
and can you just? I mean, do they have to kidnap the baby? Can they just take jewel away from Maggie and then okay? Oh, excuse me, sir and madam, your baby got my jewel here. Can I take the jewel and then here's your baby? There's no reason for
Baby.
them to to
Exactly.
resort
Kidnap
to kidnapping
Maggie.
They could,
and
but
assault and battery.
right. But
If you're gonna think about it,
Hindi,
the story
for
is
the sake
really,
of the
really
game.
stupid.
for the sake of the game, there you go.
For the sake
For
of
the
the
sake of the
game.
game, for the sake of the
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
for the sake of the game, is you need to create drama, but the drama is stupid. Anyways,
You know.
um, we be honest, even with all of when we played this, a lot of gamers were also playing this, and we had to wait our turn. By the time we were able to play this game, it's always what it's late
Mhm.
at night na. Ang nilalaro na lang namin yung ibang beat 'em ups. This would be the last. Okay. Parating siyang ipilaan ng mga tao. There's always somebody playing this game. All four, no? And it's just me and my brother. So a lot of times it's either you play with complete stranger, just play this game co-op, and then hopefully you'll get a friend out of that experience, or you'll just play it alone, or play with your friend, and then somebody else will just join in. But knowing the layout of the game, if that particular player doesn't want much, he will wait his turn until for example, if all of us four, right, if we're going to play this, let's just say Maynard's playing March, Jay is playing Homer, Sir Raymond is playing Bart, and Sir Joel's playing Lee, right, and I'm the next player. I don't like playing Marge. Would rather choose Homer. So, ang gagawin ko, hihintayin kong matapos
Makapili.
yan, no? Hintayin ko
Mag-start.
mamatay si Maynard.
Mhm.
So I can play Homer. So if you don't like a specific character, then you'll have to wait your turn until
Right.
that slot
Somebody
is open.
dies. Hindi,
Somebody
I think
dies, no?
sa start pa lang, pipili na sa inyo kung sino unang pipili.
I
Diba?
mean,
Sino may gusto kay March,
kung-
mag-start na.
diba? But
Oh,
what I'm
diba?
saying is kung ikaw yung bigla-bigla na lang
Pasok. Kasi
papasok
mag-isa ka lang, tapos
para
dadating yung iba.
Right.
Mm.
diba?
So kapag namatay
Um,
pala, kunyari namatay yung, pwede ka magpalit ng karakter. Kapag namatay ka. Doon ka palang pwede magpalit ng karakter.
Hindi. As in, the control set is default talaga kung sino yung character.
Okay. So,
That's
wala. Ayun nga.
the only weird part about this game.
Mhm.
No?
Sabi din ni Marlon, no? Trivia fact. Did you know the series is a short animated before?
Yeah.
Animation series.
Yes.
So short lang siya. Tapos sabi din ni Marlon dito, tama si Marlon, marami na na-predict yung creator nito. Sabi nga, time traveler daw yung creator ng The Simpsons. Ayan. Pagdating kay...
Just a bunch of weird coincidences.
Oo.
Yep.
Na
What,
nagsumasakto.
si Matt Groening?
Madami.
Matt Groening is a
Actually,
hack.
marami nga siya na-predict. Nanalo si Trump. Yun na yung latest eh. Nanalo si Trump.
Yung they predicted Trump would win. They predicted Fox will be abdicated by Disney,
Yep.
which did.
Oo. Saka madalas,
there are
current events
others
din
actually.
yung pinifeature nila dito, katulad sa Australia, yung yung wildfire, mga ganyan.
I don't love bacon.
Nag-guest din sila dito ng mga Green Day. Ayan.
Oo.
Real
Diba?
life, naglalagay sila ng mga real life characters dito sa The Simpsons. So that's it. That's the Simpsons arcade.
And just
Ano
like
pa ba?
Sir Jay mentioned, no, if you're going to watch the first three seasons of The
Episode.
Simpsons,
Three
the
seasons. All right.
characters
Yeah.
here in the game,
From
no, you're not
1989.
going to see on the show.
Right.
So talagang they made specific actors just for this game, no?
Yes.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I was watching the first three seasons of The Simpsons, and I'm like, where are the game characters here? Like
Right.
these guys here, they're not there.
Si Mo.
I mean,
Hmm.
you can still some of the characters like Mo,
Ayan, si Mo.
Doctor Monroe.
No.
Simo.
Yep.
Doctor Monroe is still alive
Mo.
on this game, no, Sir J.
In this game, yeah.
Sino
Doctor
yung ano,
Monroe is
yung
on this
Joe,
game.
yung
Bleeding
payaso?
Murphy is alive on this game.
Who's the
Krusty
clown?
Clown, of course, is
Yep.
Krusty,
here.
Krusty.
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 Yeah.
Krusty.
Oh, Sir James, see,
Krusty Krabs.
you got Bleeding Gums Murphy right there,
Yep.
playing the
Mhm.
saxophone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're into very early years of The Simpsons, play this game, guys. It's a fun
Yes.
game. So,
Nostalgic.
just warning you about the game layout.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gusto ko, yung apat na yung arcade box. Look at the arcade box.
Yeah, yun, ganun.
Ayan, di ba?
So if
Konami.
Papa M, Sir Joel, Sir Raymond, and Sir Jay will going to stream this, just have an agreement among you for who's playing who. Okay.
Who choose
Okay.
first? Oh. Who's gonna start first?
March has the most range because of the vacuum cleaner. Second is Bart. Third is Lisa, and then Homer.
Bart. and
Although Homer
Lisa.
is Homer is the strongest, but with the wider reach, longer reach is Marge.
Mhm.
The fastest one is Bart.
Kasi may skateboard.
Oh.
Yep.
Because of the skate.
Ten,
And yeah, that's
ten.
it. Anything else you want to say about the Simpsons, guys, before we move on?
Nothing na.
So,
Right.
so this is Konami, guys. This is Konami, not Capcom. So,
Mhm.
and you can pretty much tell our top three guys in the Capcom.
Yep.
Konami took the top
Yep.
three spot.
Yep.
So moving
That's
on,
saying something. That is
our
saying
top
something.
two. That is saying something. Why is that? Our top two guys, Timeless Gamer, the top two, fighting beat 'em up game, garnered 15 points. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Heroes in a half.
Heroes in a
shell.
Half Shell,
Turtle power.
Turtle Power. All right. So, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, specifically
Turtles.
Turtles in
Turtles in
Time.
Time.
All right. So, guys, who wants to start on this one? Sir Jay.
Okay. Turtles in Time. Actually, I played more of the original arcade compared to Turtles in Time, but I do like both. Turtles in Time. It's interesting. As far as like releases, like of course, Turtles in Time, the original arcade. Fun fact: the music is based on the concert series that they were doing at the time. So a lot of the music here, it's based on the songs that they sang in concert, and it's pretty fun. A lot of them like take notes from like the theme song, dun, 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 dun. So it's I do like what they did with the series itself.
Mhm.
As far as the releases go, I think so. For the Super Nintendo, it came out. Turtles in Time was considered Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 because the original Nintendo, they had 3 entries to the name, and then that Super Nintendo version, they added more because the original arcade was it was good, but it was short. So they expanded upon the Super Nintendo version, home console version, added like I think 2 or 3 more stages and more enemies, and I thought that was pretty cool. And then for the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, depending where you live, they ported it and called it Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Hyperstone Heist, and
Mm-hmm.
they it's the same game, but not really because they changed a lot of the aspects, as well as the story as well. So it's for all it's worth. Every version of the game, it is it's quality. I like it for its quality. I had a lot of fun playing this as a kid. The same thing with The Simpsons. We already talked about, like, player one is automatically Leonardo, player two Michelangelo, player three Donatello, player four Raphael, and
But I think
but
after you died,
yeah.
you can choose
Oh, really?
whoever you want. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played, but me, I always choose Donatello or Raphael. When I
Mm-hmm.
was a kid, Donatello was my favorite, and then when I got older, I realized red was my favorite color, so I play as Raphael.
Raphael.
Yeah,
Red.
yeah. So I do remember, like, I also remember, like, fighting with either, like, my friends or my cousins, like, which turtle I want to be. So a lot of friendships were tested during this game, as far as, like, who you want to play as. But,
That's true.
Ah,
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. Yeah, I love this game. I love Ninja Turtles. I was a I was a fan growing up. Typical '90s kid, but you know, more power to Ninja Turtles.
All right. Thank you for that, Jay. So Raymond, Turtles in Time. Go.
Alam lang nanay kong turtle fan ako eh. Bakit? Donatello, favorite character. Nalaro sa SNES. May mga history ako dito sa Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles na to eh. Like nawala pa ako sa mall para lang dito sa game na to. Ewan ko kung nagpabili yata ako nun or tumitingin lang ako. Ayan, tumitingin ako ng watch ng ng Turtles. And hindi ko na malayan, wala na yung nanay ko. Anyway, yung game, hindi ko na siya masyadong matandaan. Pero ang character ko rito si Donatello, yung may staff. Kasi may flying kick. May diagonal flying kick din. Medyo ano ako eh. Fan ako ng mga magaling sumipa.
Rider kick.
Yung mga may rider kick. Kaya fan ako ni Papa M eh. So yun. Ito nga, as of now, nasa ano ko, ayan, isa part sa retro arc ko ng VS Vita na naka-hack yung game na yan. So nilalaro ko ilalaruin ko ngayong gabi. Yan. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for that, Sir Raymond. Papa M.
TMNT. Turtles in Time. The last time I played this game was kailan yun? RGX. Sa RGX. Retro Gaming Expo sa Fisher Mall sa Quezon City.
Really?
Actually, yan yata yung, yes, Fisher Mall. RGX.
I thought we did
Yun
like
yata yung
Didn't we do
second
a
to the
PR
last.
I thought we did a PRG community of turtles.
No.
No?
Not
Okay.
yet. At alam ko hindi ako nakasama doon, Jay.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't join you that time. Ayun, kalaro ko dito si si Rick Agarasa yun. Acknowledge ko na rin siya. Pero kahit wala siya dito. Ayun, kasi sa RGX, tuwing RGCP event, naglalatag ng mga TV at console. So, doon namin nalaro ni Rick. Ayan, actually, sobrang bata pa ako. Ewan ko kung fan ba talaga ako. Kasi sa cabinet ko, merong Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles na sticker. Sobrang laki. Yung pang talaga, yung hangeran na aparador. Ganon kalaki yung Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle na sticker dun sa cabinet ko. Hanggang sa naging 10 years old yata ako nandun pa rin. Pero hindi ko siya maalala kung ilang beses ko ba siya lagi pinapanood, ganun. Pero ano, fun. Fun din tong game na to. Especially, ano lang, beat 'em up lang. So, punch, kick, jump. Ayun nga. Tapos, maganda yung animation nito. No? Pansin nyo, medyo awig siya ng ng animation. Kasi both Konami, di ba? Ng The Simpsons. So, medyo awig sila ng animation. So, this was based, siyempre, sa cartoons. Ayan, if you want guys nostalgia while playing beat 'em up, you can play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Actually, meron akong kopya nito sa SNES at yun yung nalaro namin sa RGX besides sa arcade game. Hindi ko to nalaro sa arcade game, sa arcade cabinet. Sa SNES ko na to nalaro. Yung ayun, Turtles in Time ng SNES 1993 at 1991. Ayun. Yun lang masasabi ko. Wala masyado. Sa naman, sa nila, sa weapons, ayan, depende na lang sa'yo kung anong gusto mo or kung sino ang favorite mo. Ayan, iba-iba naman ang animation nila, so hindi nakakasawa kung magpapalit-palit kayo ng characters. Ayun. Ano yun, Raymond?
JD, have you collected the toy line?
Yes. When I was a kid, yes.
Yeah. It was too expensive pa nun that time eh. Ito yung parang X-Men that time.
Mm-hmm.
Ito yung mga yan eh. Umiiyak pa ako sa nanay ko nun para mabili.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I should have, I wasn't thinking. I didn't think they were going to cost anything. So I gave them away to my neighbor, the toys that I had. So yeah, should have kept.
Di ba sinabi niyo favorite character? Ako, Mikey.
Mikey?
Gusto ko ng maingay eh. Gusto ko ng maingay. Gusto ko ng makulit. Yep.
Michelangelo.
What can I tell about Turtles in Time? Is it unreal to have this game?
Ano bang wala doon?
Is it unreal to have this game? All right.
Ano wala doon?
Is it unreal to also had it? Sinasabi guys, back in the 90s, you can practically live inside Isitan Recto if you have the money.
Pwede ka na matulog.
Laro-laro ka na lang sa Isitan Recto. Doon ka na tumira, just live there. And then labas ka na lang, bili ka na lang ng fish bowl kung kakain ka. And then back again there, no? So Isitan Recto had this game as well. The one that they had was it also had the 4 controller cabinet one. And like sir you mentioned, it depends on which I don't know why Konami decided to do this kind of layout. No, the first year will be Leonardo, the second one will always be Mikey, Donatello will be the third one, then Raphael will be fourth, and then once you die, dun lang pwede magpalit. Unlike Simpsons, you're pretty much stuck there. Out of all of the Konami beat 'em up games, the popular ones anyway, this one here in particular had port on the SNES. The others pretty much stuck in the arcade, unfortunately. What I love about this game, back in the early season during the 90s show of the show, almost all of their rogues gallery are here in this game. Baxter Stockman, the Rat King. Who's the alligator? The crocodile?
Leatherhead,
Leatherhead, right?
Yeah.
So you got Leatherhead, and then you got the alien. Who's the alien guy?
The rock soldiers.
I'm not particularly sure if Casey Jones is here.
No.
Casey Jones is not here, unfortunately. Of course, Bebop and Rocksteady also.
Yes.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
Shredder can, of course.
Shredder.
Out of all, this is the game when you try to grapple, you'll be winging your opponents towards the camera.
Yeah.
Yung maganda dito. Yeah. Port wall.
And there's this stage with Shredder. Right,
Boss. May boss fight na kailangan.
you're fighting Shredder, and he's on the console or something. So it's right here on the.
Loja
It's
Volcan.
gonna be right under the screen, and you don't know
Mhm.
how to beat him. Turns out you need to hurl all of your opponents towards him. So do a grapple move and then throw your enemies towards screen, so
Screen.
the foot soldiers will hit Shredder. And for the longest time, we didn't know how to do that. So we were pretty much, so akala namin, bababa rin si Shredder, magpapakita siya para labanan mo. No, Shredder stayed on that particular spot all throughout the game.
Yep.
We were pretty much beating soldiers left and right. And so how are we going to finish the stage? So and then one freak accident, it threw this foot soldier towards Shredder, and the screen flashed red. So so if the screen flashed red, so ibig sabihin nasaktan Shredder. So Shredder got hit. So we kept on doing it until we were able to beat Shredder. So it took us a few tries to discover that. Nobody told us how to beat Shredder at the time. And for this game, unfortunately, we even now I haven't finished the game. I don't know why. I mean, kaya ko siya, I mean, kung lalaro ko lang siya mag-isa, just like Sir Raymond, I got it on my Vita, on my retro. So if I'm going to play it alone, it might parang ano, I mean, it's a kind of game na it's more fun if you're playing with
Group
someone.
game.
Group
It's a
game.
group game.
If you're gonna play alone, it's gonna be very tedious. You need a lot of patience because the foot soldiers keep going at you from the back.
Mm.
They keep approaching you from the back. They like hitting you at the back. So I like Donatello as well because of the bow staff. He has the most reach of all of them. Nobody even plays Raphael, unless of course if there's a lot of you,
Because of the
nobody likes
size.
using Raphael because of the size.
Ako I love nunchucks din kasi. Kaya,
Short range lang talaga. Right? I mean, at least mid range itong si Mikey.
si
No?
Mikey.
So, uh, short end of the stick if you're going to play Raphael. Oh shit! I remember. The two characters from the movie, no, Sir Jay. Some reason
Oh.
they're here,
Toka and Slash.
right?
Yeah. No,
Um,
Toka and Razor. Razor, yeah.
Toka
Sa
and
movie,
Razor
lumabas
is
din
here
dun
for
si-
some reason.
Andun din si Rocksteady. Ay, si Rocksteady and ano,
No, I
Bebop.
mean,
Bebop.
on the yung 90s na no, yung 90s na
Ang
Ninja
90s
Turtles.
na yung
For
movie.
some
yes.
reason they didn't get Rocksteady and Bebop. No,
Bebop.
hindi nila ginawa si Rocksteady and Bebop, but Toka and Razor instead. I don't know why.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Di pa
Pero
kaya
nung
ng-
yung latest na movie, doon lang sila nagpakit. But during 90s, yung kay Vanilla Ice, remember that?
Mm.
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja, go Ninja. Go. With Vanilla Ice, remember those guys?
Yep.
Oh, and you know, per Shredder, that I didn't know that was Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash.
Diesel
Kevin Nash.
from
The wrestler.
WWF.
The wrestler.
Oh.
Wrestler.
Mm. Yeah, that's Kevin Nash. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Diesel. Anyways, it's a fun game, guys. So if you're going to play this game, I suggest have someone to play this game. So maybe soon, Maynard, Sir J, Sir Raymond will stream this. They're gonna play it as a co-op game. God forbid who's gonna be Raphael. Well, apparently, maybe Sir J will be choosing Raphael
Yeah,
because
I
he
don't
likes
mind.
red.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind.
Donatello's always my first.
All right.
Raph is second.
So that's it, guys. So Konami, this is Konami, not Capcom. So they took
Yes,
the number
Konami.
2 spot, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time. That's your number 2.
Number 2.
Before we proceed with our top 1, meron question daw si Miss Jerry narito.
VR?
If you're going VR daw, VR gear for beat 'em up games, yes or no?
Yes.
Why not? Oh, diba?
Yes.
Have they kind of tried that before? Remember Kinect released that Dragon Ball Game 1 for Xbox 360 Kinect,
Mhm.
the Dragon Ball Kinect. It's pretty much that's the best thing that you could hope for. No, I remember Xbox 360 released a Dragon Ball Z game, Kinect. So you're playing
Mhm.
as one of the Dragon Ball character, and you need to do your your punch and kicks
Hadouken. Oh, your Kamehameha.
in front of a Kinect. Some in front of a Kinect. So workout to guys, as in kung
No.
kung
Oo.
well kung kung meron kayong martial arts background, sure maybe. But kung if you're just gonna flaunt your arms here and there all over the place, make sure there's no furniture lying around. You're not gonna break something accidentally. Okay, be very very
Mm.
careful around with your surroundings. Baka mamaya lumapit ang nanay nyo sa inyo, masap.
Malamang pwede yan yung mga rail. Rail siguro yan. Rail beat
Dapat
'em up.
siguro kung
Kumbaga rail
gagawin
shooter.
for VR, dapat kung
Rail siya,
lalaro mo
naka-rail.
yan, no?
Virtual
Naka-rail
reality.
ka. At kung bahay
Oo.
man, kung family, kung nasa bahay, dapat
Oo.
nasa malaking spasyo ka talaga. Hindi,
Oo, kasi
makakasira
lalaruin mo
ka
yan.
ng
Right?
gamit mo.
Oh, it also depends on how hard you're gonna punch or kick. Yung
Mm.
katulad ng ginawa ni Sir
Oo.
Jay.
Parang ano,
Is it enough if you just do this? Or do you need to do it like with force?
Ganyan ka pa talaga.
I remember something like this one, pero hindi siya VR pa. Yung sa arcade, Feast of the North Star. May
Oh,
tatlong
oh,
punching,
yes.
anim na punching point doon sa Feast of the North Star arcade. So parang ganun, it depends on how hard you punch o how powerful your punch is. Ganun. Pwede, best sabi nga nila Leira dito yan. Best daw yan for workout. Di ba?
Pero
Best
pag
for work.
nagkamali ka, babay monitor.
Hindi ka naman uusod. Siguro, sabi ko nga, pag ganito siguro ang gagawin nila, hindi ka nagmo-move.
Yeah.
It should be a
Stationary.
rail game. Oh, a rail game. So, kusa na lang gagalaw, ibig sabihin, kusa gagalaw yung monitor mo toward another enemy after one. Or kung nagmo-move ka man, kailangan mo ng platform. Yung ginagamit ngayon ng iba for the VR games. Yung platform kung saan nakatali, nasa loob ka or para kang nakatali. May harness yun.
Yes.
Tapos
Yes,
meron
yes.
kang
Isolated.
tinatapakan na platform na parang vocalator or something or treadmill.
Yes, that's right.
Parang ganun.
Mm.
Ayun.
So, that's nice, no? Quick recap tayo. So, number 10, Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mystara. Top 9, Knights of the Round.
Knights of the Round.
Top 8, Captain Commando. Top 7, Streets of Rage 2.
Top one.
Number 6, Ian versus Predator.
Number 5.
Top 5, Final Fight 1. Top 4, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. So, I'm guessing your top 4 to top 10, all cap games, I'm guessing. Oh, except Streets of Rage.
Except Streets of Rage.
Number 3, Konami Simpsons. And number 2, Konami's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Turtles in Time. So, for your number 1, sino pa ba? So, number 1 is your Uncanny X-Men, guys. Uncanny X-Men. Konami's X-Men, the arcade game. There
Konami,
you go.
hindi Marvel, Hindi
Konami,
Marvel.
Konami's X-Men.
Konami.
All right.
X-Men.
Who wants to start? Papa
Okay,
M,
first.
start with you.
Okay. Never mind.
Ako? Ako hindi ko
Go,
pa
go,
to
go.
ano eh. Actually last time ko lang nalaro with the PRG family, Pinoy Retro Gaming family.
Yeah, right.
Oh, actually honestly this is not a top one for me when it comes to beat 'em up. Ewan ko, parang na ewan ko siguro kasi sobrang luma niya na kaya medyo lousy for me Sorry Medyo lousy for me yung animation, yung design ng characters. Parang kulang sa colors. Oo, parang kulang siya sa colors, saka sa palette, parang ganun. Tapos, sobrang baba nung bit range, something. 1992, no? So, 4. Ang alam ko, 4 nung last time naglaro kami, 4. 4 players lang. So, pwede palang 6 to. Pwede daw tong 6. So, yung dalawa sa baba, left and right. Andun yung buhay nila. Ayun, tapos may kanya-kanya silang special dito. Medyo hindi lang namin nalaro ng ayos kasi naglolo ko yung audio. Ay, wala palang audio nung nilaro namin ni Nabel. Time. Oo, walang audio. Tapos, ang ano dito, pwede kang mang-ipon ng maraming specials. May bar yung specials mo dito. At ayan, nag-ads, pasensya na, hindi tayo YouTube Prime. YouTube Bray Prime. Tapos yung mga kalaban dito, pagkakatulad sila. I don't know why. Karamihan dito napaka-generic. Tapos napansin namin, nandito si Metroid, guys. Ayan po si Metroid. Si Samus. Nandito po si Samus sa larong ito, guys. Ayan. Wala akong masasabi masyado kasi nga, ayun, this is not a top hindi to top 1 para sa akin. Ayun lang.
Explain ko na lang sa'yo, Papa M, kung bakit ganyan.
Kasi
itong game na to, it was based dun sa first 1989 cartoon series ng X-Men.
Yes.
The Pride of
That's
X-Men.
why.
The
Yes.
Pride.
The Pride of X-Men.
Kala
Maliban
nila
pa to dun
kasi
sa meron pang Kid of Atom something.
Children of the Atom.
Children of the Atom.
Iba to.
Yung kasunod nito.
Kasi
Okay.
yung Children of the Atom, yun na yung blue team, yung kay Jimmy na. Ito kasi, ito yung original na team. Kumbaga, nandito yung Wolverine na kulay brown, si Cyclops na yung spandex na pati ulo.
Iba yung design nila dito.
Si Nightcrawler nandito, si Dazzler.
That's why.
Hindi nila nilabas dun sa arcade game, yun sa fighting game.
Okay.
So yun, dahil medyo fan kasi ako ng mga Marvel games and ayan, masaya tong laruin para sa akin eh. Amazed din ako dahil yun nga, dan X-Men. Bata pa ako, X-Men. Yan. Ano pa pwede kang sabihin dito? Nandito yung mga old school na characters like
characters. Ito si ano?
Si Pyro.
Sino naka-blue?
Si Pyro na bumubuga ng apoy. Na part yan ng ng team ni Magneto. Kasi ang boss dito si Magneto eh.
Sa dulo nga. Sa may
Si
waterfalls.
Blob, si White Queen, si Juggernaut, si Nimrod na yun. Yung mga characters na yan. So yun lang.
Sino naka-blue? Si Cyclops ba yan?
Cyclops yan, si Cyclops.
Iba nga yung design, no? J Prime.
Okay, what can I say about X-Men the arcade? Well, like Raymond said, this was based on the first animated series. Well, it was actually more of a pilot. It was only one episode, and you know, apparently it didn't do well with numbers, so they canceled it. And then they went with the one that we all know because we sang in the beginning. So you know, but I think this arcade game is perfect for what it is. It's like Papa M said, it's not my number one, but I did enjoy it playing it as a kid. I think it garnered the most votes because it's literally one of the only arcades that I know that has like up to 6 players and double screen. That's why, you know, and it's a good beat 'em up. I mean, like, yeah, some of the things like you know, the dialogue is pretty funny. There's a whole lot of memes about Magneto. There's this
Also
one
die.
part, yeah, X-Men, welcome to die. So, it's very, I don't know. It's funny. Yeah, that's how it is. But um, I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I remember I played this. I think 3 years ago. There's a place called Barcade. It's a bar and arcade in
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia. I was playing with random strangers, and I had a lot of tokens, and every time one person would die, I'd be like, "Yo, come on, keep going." I give him so many tokens so we could beat the game, and I think I spent maybe like $20 trying to finish the game. So it's I enjoy it for what it is. I'm a Marvel fan as well. Kid in the '90s. It's very it's a good game. It's a good game.
The X-Men animated series. What year that came out? 94,
1989.
95?
It's an 89.
No, I mean,
Yung
Yeah.
no,
for this
the
one,
X-Men animated series. No, not this. The animated series back in the 90s. For 95 maybe?
92,
94, 95,
92.
96.
Yung mga ganun.
I remember X-Men from the animated series. I think it was being aired in Channel 2 around 8 or 9
Hmm?
o'clock in the morning, Saturday. No?
Last ka channel to namin nun.
Weekly show.
Oh.
And then we also collected lots of X-Men, Marvel cards, like trading cards. X-Men's right there. And then won't you know it, guys? Isitan Recto also had this game. Isitan Recto also had this game.
Ano bang wala doon
They
talaga?
had the hey, they know their shit. They know good shit. So itong Isitan Recto, what they had was 6-player. They had the 4-player one and they had the 6-player one.
Mm-hmm.
So unlike the other Konami games, this one though you can pretty much choose at first which character you play. No,
Right.
so and as far as I remember, when I first played the game, because I know the show, I know the show. I watched the show for playing this game. And during the first season, Sir Jay, as you guys who can remember, you got the Sentinels, right? Like
Yes.
20-foot tall robots,
Mm.
and then
Right.
playing it here, they're small, like human-sized robots here. And
Night of the
uh,
Sentinels.
they said during the development of this game, they cannot really have actual humans fighting the X-Men because Wolverine has a claws. So, kasi
Ba't parang ang
kasi
tangkad ni
naman daw
Wolverine
sa-
dito?
Diba? Wolverine is only 5 foot. Is only 5 foot tall. Sa totoo lang, in the original
Ang
comics,
tangkad niya dito.
Wolverine is very short. He's only 5 foot tall.
Oh. Oh.
Si Wolverine dito parang ang it's weird daw kasi dati if you're gonna have Wolverine slashing people, so why not just fight robots? Yes, that's fun. But for every end of the stage, mga kalaban nyo si Pyro, si Blob, they're pretty much flesh and blood. So what's the point of having Sentinels fighting them all the time?
Mhm.
For every stage, iba't ibang klase color palette lang ng Sentinel, tsaka ng robots here. And then you're also gonna fight crocodile people, the Savage Land. Doon parang doon umiikot yung yung mga kalaban mo dito eh. So by the end of the stage, you got Pyro, got Blob, Windigo, I think, White Queen's here,
Mm-hmm.
the fake Magneto, it's Mystique apparently pretending to be Magneto, and the actual Magneto. No? Akala ko, at first we reached that stage, nung nakita namin si Magneto, oh shit, but na. So we were already on our last token by that time. And then nalalaman na lang, oh shit, that's Mystique. So we still have one more stage to
and we don't have it more, and so wala na. I mean, eventually we lost before we even reached the actual Magneto.
Oh,
But
Leatherman.
yeah, but eventually we were able to finish the game. Dito ko lang tanto, so of course, Cyclops will have his optic blast as his special move. Um, Wolverine will have his, for some reason, yung kanyang slicer, and then Dazzler,
Mhm.
yung fireworks niya, Nightcrawler, yung kanyang super teleport, and then you got
Storm.
Storm,
Storm.
yung kanyang
Tornado.
whirlwind attack,
Ah,
yung tornado attack niya. And then Colossus here.
Colossus.
He's going to release an energy attack. At first, akala ko ito talaga yung move ni Colossus. But that's bullshit.
Mhm.
Ang move ni Colossus is just like that. I mean, ano lang siya. As in, ang move talaga ni Colossus is just turning his body into stainless steel.
Mhm.
That is his power and super
Mas
strength.
okay pa siguro kung
Pakita niyang
nagtatakal siya dito. Nagtatakal siya dito tulad ng ginagawa niya sa Marvel versus Capcom.
Mm.
Diba?
Diba? Hindi eh.
Oh. Explosion
it,
eh. Oh.
it turns out daw kasi kapag mag-change daw si Colossus from human to human to
Mag-shining
his
something.
silver form, yung transformation na daw yun, magkaroon daw ng parang fusion reactor kuno na fusion reaction kuno. Kaya para merong some sort of explosion. Pero hindi. Kung gagawin mo yung, if you're gonna do his special move, kasi by default, naka metal form na siya eh. From metal form, he will revert back to his human form and then going back to his metal form, which is weird.
Mhm.
Anyway,
Yep.
it's a fun game for what it's worth. Like any other beat 'em up games, it's one of those games rather enjoyable if you're playing it with somebody else. I remember kasama ko it's me, my brother and my cousin would play this game, and then some of the neighbor kids will also join us to play this game. All of us co-op, as in hati-hati na lang kami sa pen. It takes a lot of coordination. Wala lang bakaw-bakaw dito. So don't be too greedy about the power-ups. Always help each other. Although you cannot hit each other, just be sure to do your job. Pull some weight. Just don't stand there doing nothing. Lumaban din kayo, okay? There's so many enemies here. Kung lalaroin nyo. So, this is a very definition of a co-op game. Co-op talaga.
Yep.
No? So, nobody should be too lazy fighting enemies here. All of you should be moving, constantly fighting. So, if one of you guys are fighting an enemy, go help out. Just don't stand there doing nothing. No,
Right.
it's a game where it's worth. X-Men, children of the 90s, play this game. Of course. Anything else to add about this game, guys?
Wala. Si Kimba yung nakikita ko eh.
Yeah.
Kalaban nila. Si Kimba, the White Lion.
Kimba.
Si Wendigo yan. Si Wendigo.
Kimba.
Si
That's
Wendigo
Wendigo.
yan.
Wendigo.
That's Wendigo. Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Tapos pala may nagtanong dito si Derek. Sino raw si Dazzler? Sabi ni
Sino
Jay,
Dazzler?
prototype of Jubilee.
Prototype of Jubilee.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
Oh, pretty much nga.
Yes.
Mukha siyang si Jubilee.
Yes. So
Jubilee.
Dazzler's power. That's the fireworks actually. More intense fireworks than Jubilee. Jubilee is pretty much pang party firework lang sa kanya eh.
Right.
Dazzler
Party poppers.
cause real explosions.
Party poppers lang yung kaya.
Yeah, right.
Jubilee, eh.
Pero actually, si Dazzler kasi tinanggal nila sa team talaga yan after this.
Si Dazzler, bakit?
Inintroduce lang si parang hindi siya, may
Ginamit
kitty
lang
pride
pala
na
siya.
kasi. Parang
Mhm.
tawag doon, dahil marami na raw babae that time. And then,
Yeah.
ang
Right.
protagonist na talaga dyan is si Kitty Pryde do sa game and then sa cartoon.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
And I also
Pinalis
think
nila.
think Jubilee was made specifically for the show as well. The next one,
Mhm.
the anime series. So
Pero inintroduce pa rin si Dazzler for later years. Binalik siya. Hindi
right.
ko lang alam kung anong year siya inintroduce uli ng na as an X-Men team member.
Mm-hmm.
Yun. Ano pa ba?
There was supposed to be a Marvel movie called Dazzler, and originally Whitney Houston was approached to play as
Oh
Dazzler,
wow.
Huh?
but she didn't know who the character was. So nung nalaman when she knew about the character, roller skating 80s set in the 80s roller skater na showgirl with powers, and then
Showgirl.
she said no. She said no, but apparently the project didn't really advance outside the casting call. So yun is mga trivia regarding Dazzler. Supposedly that's supposed to be Whitney playing as Dazzler.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Mhm.
anything else about X-Men Arcade, guys? Anything else?
Pretty much it.
So, yun na lang, diba? I mean, out of all of the Konami games that they released, as far as I can tell, X-Men and The Simpsons didn't really got a console port. Turtles in Time got a console port. X-Men
Yep.
and Simpsons didn't get a console port, which is weird.
Didn't.
I mean, this was being released for the PS1 or SNES man lang. I mean, they were able to port it. They were able to port Turtles in Time
Oo,
on the
na-port
SNES.
ka nila.
Why not
Yeah.
this one, no? Why not this and Simpsons, no?
Ito
Anyway,
X-Men na to nilagay ito sa Android Pero late na rin naman yan.
Late na
yeah,
rin.
but you know,
siguro that time,
in the late 90s
siguro
maybe.
pinakamabenta sa kanila yung Turtles in Time that time. So, kaya din kinuha siya ng
At saka yung
ng SNES.
marketing siguro, I guess.
Marketing.
Yung market ng
Either
Turtles
that or they cannot either that
May
they cannot afford the licensing from Marvel
siguro.
or the license from The Simpsons, no?
Saka The Simpsons.
So, no? This is totoo lang, out of all of the X-Men games, well, aside from the fighting game, ito yung talagang tumak sa akin back in the 90s eh. Same with Simpsons. There were a lot of Simpsons games, but out of all the Simpsons games, the arcade stuck to me. That's pretty my favorite. Out of all the Konami games, no?
Mhm.
Is this Nimrod? This is Nimrod, right?
Iba nga siya dito
Right, okay.
Iba siya dito
The character design. Ibang
Sino
character
yan?
design.
Si Robocop yan.
Iba yung design niya.
Robocop.
diba? Old
Jan
school.
person sa Japan. It's Robocop.
And they're trying to pay Kitty here, no? Ako nga tawag si
Yan
Jean
si
Grey
Kitty
yan eh.
Pryde.
Kala ko si Jean Grey yan.
Mukha nga. Kasi na brunette.
May kasama pa yan si Dragon.
This is Kitty Pryde. So basically she's Shadow Cat.
Yes.
So Shadow Cat can pass through walls, right?
Yes.
Passive siya.
And for some reason nakakulong siya. Is it because that cage prevents her using her power or something?
That time kasi ito yung ano nito
She can
yung
through walls.
bago pa lang kasi yung powers niya, hindi pa niya masyado na-develop.
Na-control.
Meron pa tayo, may explanation po tayo, guys, kung bakit. There's an explanation to why there's an explanation to why she can't use her.
Why?
There you have it, guys. During this time, Kitty Pryde doesn't
is
know how to
why.
use her powers well. All right.
Yup.
All right. Anything about this game, guys?
Wala na.
Nothing
Maliban
more.
kay E.T.
Alright.
Andun din si E.T. oh.
Pati si E.T. Oh.
Ah,
So, pero sa totoo lang, I mean, I don't know who's lazy in terms of beat 'em up game, Capcom or Konami.
mhm.
Capcom.
Capcom, right?
Capcom.
Capcom.
Capcom's a little bit lazy in their
They
for me kasi
Lazy?
at least
Konami.
hindi, ito lang. At least hindi kasi it all depends on the property eh.
Right.
Oh,
Man,
siguro
you
kasi
have
yung
lots of
nakukuha
characters that you can
ni...
use.
Saka dun kay Konami, napansin ko, madalas, puro galing sa comics. Yung ano niya. So, yung design, mag-iiba talaga.
Yeah, and because they're using like a third party content here,
Mhm.
you have plenty of characters to choose from to include in
Yes,
game. Unlike in the Capcom games, they pretty much
Kasi,
came up them
own nila yun
originally,
eh.
di ba?
Original nila
Nila
yun.
yun.
Kaya ganun. Kaya may chances talaga na recycle ng mga designs. Ng mga prototype. Di ba?
Metroid.
May Metroid
Metroid.
dyan. Kung ano, may 80. May Kimba.
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 All right. So that's it, guys. So that's our top 10, no? Top 10 is your top 1 is your X-Men arcade. So that's it, guys. So that's our top 10 beat 'em up games of the 90s. So before we end the show, kung wala na po kayong other questions dyan, guys, we will end the show, no? Sir, where can they find you?
Raymond.
Me.
Raymond.
Ayan. Pinoy Retro Gaming. Kung gusto niyo ng mga game content na retro games, punta kayo sa group namin. Then watch it, like, share, follow. And ako si Retro Freak ng Retro Freak Gaming. And thank you so much, Timeless Gamer, sa second chance na mapasama sa podcast. Papa M, I love you.
Yun eh.
No homo.
May ganung banat eh. Oh. Sir J, where can find you, Sir J?
Everyone can find me at Primetime Retro. You see my name right here. Right there. I'm also part of Pinoy Retro Gaming, the family, the community. Welcome me with open arms, and love all you.
Lying beside you.
Right. Yeah. Pinoy Retro Gaming. Primetime Retro.
Kala ko sabihin din ni Sir J, love you, Papa M din.
Love you.
All right.
Actually, Papa M, you're actually. It's funny because my wifey's in the Philippines right now. You're gonna see her soon, diba?
Yeah. Oh.
Meet up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And she's gonna tell me everything about you.
Oh, good.
She's gonna tell me everything about you.
Hashtag PRG Bano.
Gosh.
Sabi ni Jarina. Ayan. Ano na? Mina, okay.
Go.
Ayun, you can always find me here at Kaka-Computer mo yan. Ayan. We play retro, nostalgic, and old school games here. You are always welcome to go back to your childhood. So, kindly visit Kaka-Computer mo yan. And I'm also a part of Pinoy Retro Gaming. I love you all, PRG Farm.
PRG Farm.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much guys for always watching Timeless Gamer sa mga viewers natin at listeners natin dyan. Ayan, kahit ano pa mga episode, thank you so much for being here. I
All
love you too,
right. Um,
guys.
and of course, guys, you can ako naman, you can catch me on my Facebook page and my YouTube channel, Joe RPG. Same as see as my name there and my name tag there.
Mhm.
Also, for your retro gaming need, guys, like actual games, you can also catch Papa M, Sir RB, Sir Carlos, Sir Siebert, Sir Raymond, no? Sa Retro Gamers and Collectors of the Philippines, our GCP. If you have a particular game, particular console or voice that you're looking for, go join the group and you might surprise yourself on what you'll find there, no? They got it all for you.
For you, we
And of
got
course,
it. Oh, sige, sorry. Nadala ko.
you can also catch us sa aming official website,
Yes, wakalas.com.
timelessgame.wakalasproductions.com. So you can our previous audio format
Podcast.
podcast there. You can also, aside from the website, you can also catch us on Wakalas Radio. Just Google search Wakalas Radio, guys. It will be it will show on Spotify and iTunes and other uh, audio podcasting streams. No, as of late, when I check, our previous computer mo yan podcast, guys, are also there on the website and Wakalas Radio if you want to listen to those episodes as well. Last time I checked, the episode that we did for Resident Evil 1 through 8,
Mhm.
it already got over 1,000 listens.
Oh wow.
Wow.
No? Over 1,000 listens. And that is just for your Resident Evil 1 to 8, the show that we did for Resident Evil. So there are a lot of other listeners out there, not just you guys. So we are thankful for we are very thankful for that. If you're sharing our shows, if you still want to, if our voices are not enough for you, you can still catch our video podcast dito sa page po ni Papa M. Sa Kaka-Computer Mo Yun. It's a weekly show. Nandiyan yan sa Facebook page, Papa M. Just scroll down, all the way down until you see the podcast versions, the weekly podcast versions of Timeless Gamer. And Kaka-Computer Mo Yan. Hope hindi pa binubura ni Facebook yung yung ibang
Paubos na yung
episodes
kaka-computer mo
natin.
yan. Paubos na. Paubos na yung
Well,
kaka-computer mo yan. Pero meron
if
naman
you're gonna
sana,
catch
di ba?
that, guys, you can still the audio format sa Timeless Gamer website and sa Wakalas Radio. You can still catch the audio format. Unfortunately, I think we upload some of the earlier Kaka-Computer Mo Yan video podcast sa Wakalas Productions YouTube page. I think the first 10 episodes ang naisalvage namin when we were uploading when we were trying to upload we were trying to archive everything, no. Some of them are there, but anyway, guys, so thank you so much for being here, for saying from start to finish, and on behalf of RV, Ebert, Sir Carlo, and Sir Joel, thank you so much, and thank you again sa Pinoy Retro Gamers, Papa Retro Freak, and Primetime Retro. And as always, guys, our bodies and our games may go out of date, but our gaming experience will forever remain timeless.
Timeless.
Bye-bye, guys. Thank you. We shall see you
Bye.
again. Ako, I'm not sure kung ano magiging episode natin, but hopefully we will see you again next week.
Night.
Bye, guys.
Night. Night. Sorry.